Hey, this is Mario with World Card Game Federation with not a local match. In fact, quite the opposite. It's in my own dang basement where I'm going to review a bunch of cards that have come out for previews. I'm going to say I'm pretty darn close to them, but I'm also kind of tired of waiting too, so I know we're like a mastery or two short. Don't worry about it. I'll give my awful opinion on that one later. I do have someone here today helping me out. He has an interesting type of experience to offer to our little project here. I have been playing with these dumb cards for a couple of months now. No, not a couple of months, a couple of weeks now. James has James has even seen them. I throw them at him sometimes, and he hisses and runs away. It's hard on everybody, but I do. So we're going to start off with the very first previews that were coming out way back when I started to pay attention again to the game. Was the Super Dragon Ball set, and I'm going to let James read off this effect and give me his thoughts, being it's the first time he ever saw him.
Well, and an interesting thought about that is because I played Namekian and we did a lot with the slug and stuff and whatnot, so it's kind of interesting to see how the different Dragon Balls were, where the the Namekian Dragon Balls were just really, really strong, but the problem was they didn't have too much synergy to go grab them and stuff like that, so that kind of balanced them out. Then we had the Earth Dragon Balls that were really underwhelming in comparison, but had like all the search support in the world to go grab them and bring them out. So the question is what that I have is whether or not this is going to be more of a middle ground between the two, or if they're just like a lot of the things I've seen from the fancy stuff here and there have just been blowing everything else out of the water.
And at this point, I'm going to break James's heart and tell him, yeah, it's busted as all get out. We'll start giving him, like we say, we'll describe what they do, what they likely work well with, don't work well against, and lastly say, how would we fix them? And again, I'm not a developer, but I'm also a guy who has to live with the work of developers, so I might have an opinion or two. Just a small warning. Before we get into the very first card, I have to remind everybody listening to this one, this is not going to be an entirely positive review. You're going to hear some stuff you don't want to hear. So, you've been warned.
Well, and as I can see, I'm looking at the first one right now in front of me, and holy crap, I see this thing sneaking into every deck because it counters every color of deck perfectly. So it's Dragon Ball, Super Dragon Ball number 1. It basically, you name a setup, drill, ally, or attached card, and you destroy all copies of that card in play. This is the anti-blue card in a nutshell, because it hits whatever type of blue deck it is, whether it be ally support, whether it be drill support, setup support. Holy crap, setup supports are really gonna hate this because you just got their entire field with just playing one card. It hurts any kind of deck, whether it be red, because you got drills, setups in there, you got orange, which is drills and setups in there, maybe a straight ally or two. Definitely green, because of attached cards. It hits everything.
I'm going to remind you something awful. Think about this for a sec. Roshi stacked up in red or black or blue.
Yeah.
Could you imagine this existed back then?
Yeah.
Kill whatever you got.
Well, I mean, like, you go into, you would play the Dragon Ball 1, you do Black Declaration, right? Black Declaration.
Yeah, that's right, Black
And then you just wipe out all 3 copies of that card that they had saved up, because they would always save them up, and then you just go into combat and you'd punish them.
Yep. With multiple black power-ups stacked up, any number of this kind of crud. So I'm going to give my 2 cents. My 2 cents here is that Super Dragon Ball 1, like we said, definitely anti-setup, anti-setup, mostly setup and ally. Basically, it'll gut out a lot of those kinds of decks one shot. We were talking about this before we started recording today. We said, this card gets around something in the most creative way possible, but not in a way that makes don't read good when you hear creative.
Yeah.
Destroy all copies.
Well, and I hate when it always says name. Because
what?
Because then it's just like one of those semantic things. It's like, but I mean, like at least it's a card in play. So like your opponent can't be like, well, I don't know what it's called. If you don't know what it's called, then I'm not going to tell you what it's called because it's public knowledge. It's out there on the field. You can ask to see the card.
I appreciate that.
But that's why I always hated name
that card.
Name that card because you have to know the game inside and out.
Yeah, why would I know your deck?
Yeah.
Why?
So.
that's good.
That's personally my gripe against naming cards.
But this concept of destroying all copies, you are aware that makes it essentially there's no cap on what it could do. It could kill as many of them as out there. These are, like we said, unlikely to see a whole field of Cell Juniors, but you can kill them all in one shot. Imagine for a second how many Destroy All of X cards there are in this game. Not many.
There are not many, and most of them are named, and it's from the deck.
Yeah.
So then it's a little harder because, like I said, you have to know exactly what your opponent plays.
You hit that better than I ever could. Black Scout Maneuver in a Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And active stuff. Okay, wow. So we're going to say this one probably doesn't get changed, because if you change any one part of it, it's not the card it was started off as.
Well, I mean, like, you could.
Well, would you rather targeted less things?
I'd rather it targeted less things, but that's just me. Or what you could do is, instead of all copies of it, you choose 2 setups, drills, something like that.
That's the kicker, I think.
And I think that would be more... I think, to be fair, at that point, it'd actually make it even more broken, in a way.
Well, if you still let it target anything like it is right now, that's fine. You can leave that. Leave the versatility. Let it be C-play for a long time.
Yeah.
But then, you say destroy 2 of those copies. You don't hit a whole playset if there's a playset.
No, but it also gives you ability where, like, you could pick and choose what the major threats are.
That would be fine. Yeah, rather than just wipe all out of the copies of the... I don't want to think about it. Like drills, it almost doesn't matter, because how many times you have multiple copies of drills? Literally never. So, we're going to say this one is okay, except that it needs to have a limit of 2 to target. For destroy. Alright. Now, poor James is going to see Dragon Ball 2 Super Dragon Ball 2 for the first time.
Okay, continuous, your textile plus 2 stages. Always like that for, like, orange. Cause I still think Orange Adept is still one of the underutilized masteries.
It has been continuously built for coming up like in 6 months. I've yet to take it apart.
Yeah, I still like it. First time you can use turret change combat, increases value by 1.
So you feeling that whole...
I'm feeling it in an orange deck. Holy crap, that would be stupid good in an orange deck where you have multiple copies of 3 endurance cards and stuff like that. I mean, just suck up the entire thing. And we were talking about that because, like, some of those orange decks, you have that one card that makes your AT4.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what. And then you add another stage on top of it with the Adept Mastery. You could go fetch it easily.
Jeez, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You play this, you've got, like, an extra 2 there. You've got several other drills that can make it. You can do 10 plus stages consistently, easy, without adding... Then that's just on an AT stage.
That's
card.
what I'm thinking. I was gonna say minimum 7 stage on an AT only card. Orange searching technique or whatever that, or scout maneuver, search maneuver. I can't remember. It was one of the cruddy throwaway rares from set 1. But yeah, imagine that. That AT knocked you for 7 stages, dog.
Well, like some of them, they're like AT plus 4.
Oh yeah.
And then you're just like, oh.
We call that throwing haymakers.
Yeah. Like, I was hitting 12 stages no matter what with that thing. That was one of my favorite decks.
If you ever want to, it is ready all the time. Because, it needs mild modification to be hero or villain, but not much. All of your usual cards are in it.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to say about this one. To give that spoiler we talked about to poor James is, yes, everything's broken. Everything is ridiculous in this set.
Yeah, I can already tell, like, that's ridiculous.
Because think about it for a sec. This should be on 2 different cards, is what we're saying.
Well, the other thing that we got to realize, too, is that this is also one of those, it's going to make crits that much more important. Because you are stealing these and they're going to be bouncing back and forth. That's going to make it harder to even get a crit. Oh. It literally does ball 6, but almost better.
Well, exactly. We were talking about this one, and oh gosh. So you know how much I hate the retro DBZ people, right? Like they're just loathsome d-bags. You know who you are. But we were talking about how they like their inside jokes. I wanted to talk, but I'm not trying to run a Facebook page on callbacks. So these D-bags love to use the word spiritual successor.
So it's the spiritual successor.
So
instead of reducing the stage cost, we just make it to where, like, we don't care whether it's an energy attack or a physical attack. We're just gonna...
So, if I want to throw this in, you want to know who being real odd want to throw this into? You know my Ginyu deck? The one that has all the endurance in the world?
Oh yeah, well, like I said, even yellow. All the endurance in the world. We did a count once when we remember the Orange Krillin deck, and I had like almost 20 cards that were like 3 endurance. This is back in the day when it
I
was
do
just
recall.
all
Set
actual
one-
set stuff, like, you know.
Set 1 through 4, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's a
yes.
lot of endurance in a lot of different decks, and it's just stupid.
And what's awfully nice is okay. Hey, you know what? Actually, I have something positive to say. That is a nice effect. It doesn't say adds 1 endurance to all cards.
No,
That's very
it's just
important.
the first time.
Yep, and it's 2 cards that would have to have endurance to begin with.
Mhm.
It doesn't turn your zeros into ones.
Yep.
So I'm on board more so than I thought. I just didn't read that till right now. The first time, and then like we said, it's value up by 1, so it implies you have to have it. So not bad, not as broken. Those of you who know what's coming next probably know what I'm inching towards, and I've told James it's number 4, and he'll find out.
Jesus. So 3 just does everything.
Yeah, a little bit.
It draws you a card, which is always stupid good.
Card
There, because
advantage.
it literally replaces itself, so you can still go into combat.
Yay!
You thin out your opponent's stuff if they rejuvenate or stuff like that.
And discard profit and
discard.
matters.
Yeah. Well, it's like any game, it always does. And then
Almost-
stages are just always important.
Hey, once upon a time, discard pile was only meaningful to a couple of deck types.
Mm-hmm.
Meaningful, like some things interact with it, like it visiting the past. And
What was always important to me? Like, it was, well, as an orange player, it was always important to you as an orange player.
Because if Endo 20, yeah, I know.
Well, not even that.
When I was
Just getting those drills rejuvenated after you leveled, you know.
So when you're looking at this dumb card that does everything, it doesn't raise anger.
Yeah, seriously. Out of all the things, that's the one thing it doesn't do.
So, would you like to?
I remember when, I think, wasn't it 4? There's 2 and one other card that was always like the Dragon Ball Wars, like from the Namekian ones. That
Oh.
were always trying to grab from
To my
each
knowledge,
other.
is 2 and 7.
2 and 7.
Just always, if you crit one, it's probably 7, so that you can stack your next turn and whatnot.
Yeah.
Usually.
But
Or 2 to keep
that was right, it was 7. That's what I see this one being.
a lot of
Like, because even in the middle of combat, just drawing a card and gaining 3 stages, that's a big turnaround.
So
and
people
it's
who
a
are-
tempo changer.
So people who are listening don't know that, because it's been an awfully long time, wouldn't know, James, that you are the Orange Krellin player. Now, I don't mean that as a slur, but I could. That if you say, well, who plays Krellin? James. James and Andrew, I guess. And then, but who plays Orange Krellin? Oh, that's James. James been playing Orange Energy Krellin since, I don't know, set 2. I don't know.
Something like that.
So, really, you
I
could
top
go
16 with Orange Krillin. I
Damn
took
right.
seconds at ARG with it.
did.
And the only thing I lost to was
a Brawley.
no.
Was it Red Brawley? Was
It
Red
was
Cooler?
Android 20.
And
And it was, I just couldn't get in for anything. Which
Yeah.
is scary because I beat a Red Turtleus deck back then when it was bonkers. And
I remember
And
Red
it was-
Ruthless Turles. It was the
well, yeah, and playing Energy Krillin, that was the one that was mine to lose, and I still somehow won.
and that's what I'm segueing into, by the way. This idea that, think about it, you could play a Dragon Radar, and let's say this is all you had left or whatever. This would be a card that would replace itself, like we talked about.
Mhm.
Like you get you going, get you your 3 stages to get your energy beats going back again, and then help to deal with.
Yeah, but what it showed me from the new Krillin, I don't even need to worry about stages anymore. Stages are irrelevant.
It's a little much. there's broken stuff. So a competent card, very strong. All right, I was waiting to show it to him. He's never seen Ball 4. I got it. Ball 4 used against me yesterday.
Okay.
Enjoy.
And it's even shuffle. That's disgusting, especially for like a Namekian deck.
So not even
Because
put him on bottom.
You put them all your stuff on the bottom, and then you just pull it out, shuffle it back up, reset the deck, and then you have a chance of coming back with all that stuff that you either lost from milling or freaking lost from just beating the shit out of somebody. That's really powerful.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I don't think people understand how ridiculous shuffling is in a card game until you play a card game without a shuffle mechanic
Oh,
very
yeah.
often.
Score is predominantly like that. Like if you played sets 1 through 4 score, like I did that for funsies with Andrew a while back. Yeah, it's a real dog where you're like, wow, we don't search or do nothing, do we?
No, well, you still search and stuff like that, but I mean, just like shuffling is it's a big game changer. That was always like the reason why Namekian was really good, because a lot of their stuff was shuffle Dragon Balls back into the deck, and just getting that shuffle.
It would do it.
Yeah, it reorders everything. So now your opponent doesn't know what's coming up.
I don't want to be a jerk and say there's a certain person we know who would manipulate shuffles so he got the cards he needed to the top of his deck.
It's easy to do. Very easy to do.
Sleight of hand.
And that's why I always tell people you need to watch videos on things to watch for that sort of thing.
I would love to. At some point, you know what? That's going to have to be a thing. You're like, watch your loser opponents. Your General Walter brothers, you know who you are. Who are like noted out-and-out cheaters who just brazenly do it out in the open. Because, I don't know, Alabama people are like that.
I don't know. I take it as a challenge. Because you could be someone that's cheating actively at it. It just means that you're better than they are.
I'll beat him right off a camera over here. So
that's so you take them out back and you just show them the business.
Here's my special move. It's called a tire iron.
But I don't think that they understand like giving Saiyans or because like Saiyans they do a lot of rejuvenating too, but they don't have anything that really shuffles their deck. Not
much. There's a couple of attack searchers, but that's it. Like relatively speaking, of their own volition, they're only going to shuffle their deck a couple of times a game. But we were talking about this one, so I've had this used against me. We've done it 2 or 3 times one combat. Played it. I stole it. He stole it back, all in one combat, and the amount of like cards.
Rejuve, yeah, it's just stupid, and that's the only problem that I've always had with games where like the deck, because you know me, I play just about every card. It's terrible to say, but like it also gives me a different perspective on a lot of things. But like whenever there's a card game where your deck is your life, Rejuving and drawing are 2 big things. Like, I've seen people win games by making their opponent draw.
There you go.
And that is an actual win con at that point. Because if you can make your opponent draw fast enough to where they don't have enough time to play the big cards from their deck to kill you with, you win.
Hence a ton of Yamcha decks just drew out that win.
Yeah.
That one? Nobody burned through a deck faster.
Yeah.
Draw 2. Jeez.
Yeah. And then they would take damage, and then it'd be stupid. So, like...
Here's my beef. This is a fine effect, except where it says you choose them.
Yes. I think if it was shuffle the top 4 or the bottom 4, something like that. But, I mean, like, even like if it was I would say it would be better if it was like an activated ability.
You think so? You put it into play and then you use it later?
Yes, because, like, as you said... You had a entire turn where it went back and forth 3 different times.
It was a little much. One game?
So if it's an activated effect, because of the ruling that they did with the drills, you'd only be able to do it once a piece.
Oh! Okay, see, that's fine. This effect will be used once per turn or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Or word it in such a way that it only can be. That would even be better, because that means, can you both use it once? Yes. Will it see a gazillion plays during one turn? No.
Yeah, I think it would definitely choose, because like after seeing this, every crit.
Yep. And
I'd play Launcher again. By the way, Launcher. That's the one you're thinking of.
Yep.
AT.
Physical.
Physical AT.
It was 3 life cards.
Oh yeah, 3 life cards.
Use a crit.
Yeah.
So you realize such power in a card you can always use. But, man, this is the one, like I said, in my opinion, was the most broken Dragon Ball that I had to deal with. Now, you'll see more stuff that's just to annoy and harass. So we're on Super Dragon Ball 5. It's just to annoy, harass, and get more uses.
Yeah, it does a little bit of everything. That's not terrible, and I like that it shuffles one back into the deck. Like, it could be used defensively, offensively. It means that more likely is, it's a May effect, so that's always good for, like, the Dragon Ball player. But it gives your opponent an out to get rid of something.
I can't say this enough about that. This has all happened. I've already had all that happen.
Yeah.
So I had in one game Andrew steal a Dragon Ball back by just playing this and shuffling back in his own deck.
Yep.
From my control.
Yep.
Then I also stole it and forced one of the Dragon Balls back in, so I didn't have to get a DB victory.
Yep.
Both things have happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Like I said, this is the more of make or break for Dragon Ball players.
It's going to be very tactical, very strategic. It's not broken and dumb like the others. Not much to be said here. I doubt any part of this needs to be changed. Everything seems reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
If it did a fourth thing, then we'd have a problem. Oh boy.
6. Wow. Okay, that's really good.
Yeah. So
I thought 4 and 1 might be pretty basically hit on, but no, this is pretty good too. Like 3 stages and 3 anger. What is with them? I feel like they like the people at Retro.
Oh, Fanzy,
yeah. They don't like anger. And like somebody had to piss in their Cheerios with an anger out. Like so badly that because like I've noticed that like everything lowers it not once, not twice, but like 3s and 4s, and it was like, why?
Oh, I have a theory.
It's no well because they make their stuff so broken.
That's the problem.
It's to try to keep them from getting to those higher levels.
Because the mechanic to hit 5 anger made a lot of sense. It's set 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, but we got to a point where those effects could be compounded and abused. That it ended up being like, oh, how easy is it to get 5? Pretty dang easy.
Well, yeah, you're talking to the guy who made the orange Vegeta deck. That just would instantly anger out. And the only thing that would beat it was the orange Krillin deck. Because you angered out faster.
And you used to
and stupid ways. In stupid ways.
I remember. I was there. I saw the ugliness that ensued. So,
but like I feel like the anger hate is just always a little too much. But like that, losing 3 stages,
I'm gonna throw
amazing for that Nappa deck. Remember that Nappa deck that I used to run way back in the day? That was just about
Stage Drain Nappa.
Yeah, Strange Drain.
I remember that. So the people who may not remember, Stage Drain Nappa was a real card as far as
it was a real concept. And,
yeah,
and like the whole point was like you didn't have to attack your opponent.
Nope.
You just had to attack him once just to get him down to 0 stages, and then after that, you just kept dealing stage damage to him. Because here's the thing: if you lower somebody's stages and they're already at 0, they just mill, and there's no endurance for it.
Nope, no way to reduce it. Nothing really. We used to talk about that. We're like, the game itself has no means to counter this at all. They're like, gain stages. You gain stages. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, but if I may, this Dragon Ball is a symptom of a bigger problem. It was, like we said, modern cards struggling to deal with decisions made all those years ago about what constituted leveling up. So you're going to see...
I don't even think it was that, but I feel like there's just... So, what I figure is that critting only reduces an anger once.
Yep.
And critting is a big thing. That was always the thing about orange decks, is like...
Consistent crits.
If you could get consistent crits about them against them, you shut them down.
I do remember.
And there was a lot of times where that would happen, and you would have to then rely on just killing them outright. That's why they have so much endurance. That's why they have so much, because it goes around that play style of I either need to make something really big to kill you with, or I'm going to anger out because those are my 2 win cons.
And here we are with the Dragon Ball.
And same thing with Namekians. It's like I either have to anger out or I have to get Dragon Balls. And that's why all their stuff revolves around anger and Dragon Balls. And even more so for Slug, because Slug can't win by leveling up.
Which is fine. He would have broke the game had he been able to.
But, I mean, like, yeah, because he has a card that can just jump.
Hey, let's not forget, this is the same development team that let Vegito out with his skill set, or power set, excuse me, and did not turn off his NPVV.
I don't think I really read it, so...
You were better off. So I, sadly, lost a tournament because he has NPVV capability. If he didn't, he'd have to stand and fought, and that would have been a very different story. So,
kind of like the whole, Gohan.
Mystic Gohan?
Mystic Gohan, yeah. That whole I hated that too. Just turning off all abilities. It's just
Future Gohan.
Yeah, Future Gohan.
Oh yeah, he's god.
It's one of those just like why would you even make that card? It takes away the whole point of playing the game.
Oh, you don't know?
I've always I know why. It's the same reason why they make those kind of card games in Magic and stuff like that. And I hate them. Like it's seriously, when you take away somebody's ability to play the game, it's never a good choice, directive choice.
I never really thought about that. Like, you literally can't interact.
Yeah,
so you're just sitting
there.
Yeah,
and so that's never a good thing. It's never fun for the player that it's happening to. It's always great for the person that it is because they feel like they're on top of the world because you can't do anything to keep them from winning. But that's no fun.
And I fought Pete. Pete's still using Future Gohan. Oh, by the way, that Future Gohan is the successor to this scorecard.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it cannot use any personalities. Yep. But it's only a level 1 too. So
you could camp it, because the Mechas generally didn't level much.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, even now, there's leveling cards that can force your opponent to level and stuff like that. True. That's where that is. It's like the whole way up on Mystic Gohan. That's the annoying part.
He punishes you the whole way. Goodness sake. So let's take a look at DB7. And this isn't bad.
I don't know. I feel like it's not bad, but I don't feel like it's great either, because just having a crit effect, you snowball.
Really? You don't want a pocket crit out there?
No, because your opponent can pocket crit you.
Oh!
They can crit you and crit you again.
So they're going to steal a Dragon Ball, get a crit, use a DB effect, steal another one, walk away with 2 Dragon Balls, and all because I needed a card in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's So, when would you say that someone should be using this then?
Oh, the whole point of the once per game you may play this card from your hand, that's to end the game.
Oh, so it's only the one time?
It's either you have a handful of blocks in your hand, and or you have 6 Dragon Balls, and you're just like, oh, you're here to punish me, and this is gonna make me lose. No, I win. That's literally all I can think of.
How about I win instead? Yeah, that's true. With the way damage has gotten outrageous. Yeah, still 2 Dragon Balls.
It is a crit outside of combat, which is kind of cool too. But I mean, like, at the same time,
Well, let me give the benefit of the doubt for 2 seconds on this.
I think it's a cool concept.
Well,
I think it's a cool idea. I think the problem with it is
in practice, it ain't gonna be like that
because of how critical damage effects work.
Yep. The other one is this. Let's
say they changed it to where you could use one of these effects, and it would be like the critical effects, except stealing a Dragon Ball. I'd be more okay with that.
You mean like critical damage effect? This effect cannot be used to capture a Dragon Ball? That'd be fine. Huh, then it would just actually, oddly enough, sealing that off would make it a very different card.
Yes. Wow. And make it a lot more balanced.
I'm down.
I mean, like, that's the other thing. You have 5 Dragon Balls. Your opponent has your 6th one. You play this from your hand. You steal it back. You win. That's like that. It's the gotcha. Is what that is.
So that was the mind you, I hate this term and I hate this kind of activity, but I'm about to do it. I'm going to be a devil's advocate today. Devil's advocate saying, let's say this wasn't for what you and I thought it was at all. Let's say this card is made for something totally different. It's actually to encourage active stealing of Dragon Balls in combat. It is actually to encourage use and stealing.
Well, that's what I said. It's like you got 5, your opponent's got your last one, you just you win the game. And this is coming from somebody that played Namekian Dragon Ball Capture a lot, and I would love something like this, but at the same time, I don't really care for it because to me it's not very fair.
Whoa. Its liability to asset ratio is too poor, sir?
Kind of. If I start off with that, I'd be very scared if that was my first Dragon Ball I got to play.
Because it'd be too tempting to use that once per...
It would be there for the entire game, and at the point, it would just be a drag fest of who can steal it from each other, and it would just kind of go back and forth and back and forth.
I guess it is
not to even mention the fact that whatever you are stealing on top of that, you're stealing something else that has just as broken of an effect. We were talking about those.
Stealing a ball 4, shuffling 4 back in. Hey, Chihuahua.
Or stealing the 7, then stealing the 6, or not 6. What's the other one? The 5, and then shuffling the 7 back into their deck.
Oh, all the above happened way more than it really should.
Like, there's way too many ways that you could do some stupid shit with it. It's just like
Do we want to see all that? No.
Even as a Dragon Ball player, and it would be cool to be able to steal one outside of combat and stuff like that, and then go in to try to win that way. I don't like the implications of what it can do too. On top of that, I just don't feel like it's fair play.
No. I'm going to vote that one as needing some kind of tweak to some effect.
It's not a big tweak either. I feel like it's a strong effect. I feel like it just shouldn't be able to capture Dragon Ball.
If we're going to keep the game clean, if we're going to keep things interesting, then yeah, we kind of have to not do that.
There's a fine line between player interaction and too much player interaction.
Huh. I never really thought about that. There is such a thing. Oh, and too little. That's a thing.
Yeah, too much, not enough. And that's where, like, Mystic Gohan comes into play, because then there's not enough interaction.
Yeah,
he shield off an entire mechanic of the game.
Yeah, Future Gohan.
Future Gohan, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I was going to say, then it gets less great. So this is going to be kind of stinky. I actually have to zoom in because of how good old Fan Z page.
I was bring it up on mine too, on my phone, I guess. Look at it that way.
That's let me just grab this here. So, folks, we're going to move on to starting the long, winding process of all of the MPs. And it looks like the first fella... All right, we got a zoom in going here. Oops. Nope, doesn't do that. Is Beerus, and we're going to start looking over some of his abilities. And it's going to be interesting, I suppose. Because, in my opinion, Beerus, I was under the impression he was going to be the first in the line of, cruddy effects that I don't care for and I think were not great for the game. I was wrong. I think he has neat effects. I think, to an extent, if you were looking to see this character be overblown and broken and dumb stuff, he didn't hit those marks. I will, however, drop a light of beef right here while I wait for James to do his thing. Is light my beef. My beef is that I hate the Beerus character. I think he sounds like he's straight up out of somebody's fan fiction. Everything about him says fan fiction. He's like a sassy character. He's a lazy house cat character. He's a guy who's suddenly, for no reason, never been mentioned in the series before, suddenly stronger than everybody. He feels like a fan fiction character. Always has.
This comes about with the whole power creep problem and everything else, yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going the other way. Oops.
Yeah, I'm going the other way. No, it's fine. I feel like that's a lot of things too, because they have the same problem with Fantasy that they have with any card game that has power creep and wanting not to use some of the a lot of the older MPs are definitely going to get pushed out when you're level 1, which is supposed to be your base level. It's already an F.
That's getting too common.
Yeah.
At least he drops out of F relatively quickly, but still
it's kind of like...
Whatever.
Now, he only has a perf, too, which is not bad. To shred the top card of your player's deck. We're going to do a mill deck.
You didn't think so, did you?
Really, yeah.
You'd be surprised. Do you remember I told you how everything about this says, let's go back and reuse sets 1 through 3?
Okay.
So just keep that in mind as you work through this.
I see. It's to mill, and they're trying to make the mill even, is what they're trying to do.
Because you remember how Beerus is...
but you're really trying to mill your opponent.
So there was a location card, which we don't use no more, called Dying Planet.
Yeah.
That, remember, it became an 8 in this card pile. But remember, it's not Frieza. Frieza does damage. Everything. Whether end of your turn, discard from use, everything went into it. That's what was Beerus' ally. So we're going to try to bring some of that kind of effect into it, but not as active as that. So I'll have you read off his abilities if you like.
Alright, so use when entering combat, destroy the top card of each player's life deck. Like I said, 1 tit for tat sort of thing, trying to keep it even there. It's an energy attack with no stage.
No cost?
No cost. No cost. Banish 2 cards from your opponent's discard pile, which is always stupid. Then, period, raise your anger 2. So you will always get free anger, and it's 1 life card.
So, first thing is, if you ever see 2 anger swing on any level 1, do you know what that means?
Oh, yeah.
They don't want you to stay there because it's too strong. Because you'd ruin the game by sitting there the whole game.
I don't think that that's really it. Either. I think they're trying to propel... Like, it's a weird thing. I feel like what they're trying to do is they're trying to compensate for the fact that they put so much anger hate in that they now have to give everything anger off the bat. Otherwise, you stay on level
fair.
1.
Like me, maybe if I had the numbers. You know where you have my Excel sheet of everything that raises anger, everything that lowers anger?
And I bet you it would be, like, there would still be more things that raise anger.
Would there be?
But it would be so close and comparable to things that lower anger.
49-51.
Or just do crits and stuff like that to lower players' anger. It would probably come out a little more closer than you think.
See, boo, by the way.
Because if they were dead even, then there would be no push. So there'll always be more anger gain than anger hate, because if you don't do that, then, like I said, one of the mechanics would never exist, and that's leveling up.
And you couldn't actually have them be equal like that. I get you. So if I was... That's fair way to say that. Also, yeah, if you're leveling up more often, what's a push off of level 1 to 2, really? Not a lot. Not enough to really complain.
I mean, yes and no.
It depends what your level 2 does.
Yeah, and it depends on what your level 1 is. Like, remember... I still think that one of the best MPs in the game is still that level 1 Krillin. From base set. Because
did anything else do anything like that? No!
Well, no. Because, like, especially if you could start off by searching out a drill, and you could search out... That was the thing that made that third Orange Mastery so stupid, was you got to search out a non-continuous drill and put it into play. So you'd put in...
Time of Retribution.
Yeah. So you put in... possession.
Boo.
So then you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna ditch this card, draw 2 cards, and you draw 2 cards, then ditch 1, most likely.
If anyone listening here,
and then gain 2 anger off of it because of your Krillin's level 1 ability.
Exactly. So those of you who were listening right here who didn't play at that time, or maybe didn't get to fight old James here, it means you don't know how silly and dumb it gets.
You don't understand when you're 2 attacks in and you're basically at level 2 already.
Ooh, I remember this. I remember you actively leveling at a point where, like, it felt more unstoppable, that progression, than it did, like, with Orange Vegeta. From Awakening, like, that was
it didn't matter if I took damage, it didn't matter, because I just did my own thing. Yeah, and that's how my decks always are. They're always like, they do their own thing.
Interacting as little as possible. So,
well, I mean, they do interact. Like, don't get me wrong, I was still throwing ridiculous amounts of damage out, but it was like, the main goal was to level out. The secondary is I kill you on the way sometimes.
Now, of the level 1s, I was worried most that this would set a tone for broken, dumb things. I was like, alright, show me what you're going to do, Fanzy. Show me what I'm going to hate. And I don't.
I mean, it's not. It's fine. It's like I said, the power levels are a little high, in my opinion. And that's just, and that's just me.
The other one is, I also have a small complaint that he could banish any 2 cards.
Yeah.
So my complaint is, like, it should have been,
top 2 or
top 2,
like
bottom 2. So again, we have mild complaints that sound real similar to previous complaints.
Level 2, your opponent's attacks deal -1 stage and -1 life. Yeah, we've seen that a lot.
I actually don't mind it. I think it's apropos.
I don't... Once again, if his levels were a lot different, I wouldn't mind it as much. This is the sort of a power that you give to weaker characters to minimize the fact that they don't have the power levels, and therefore they have more skill at, like, dodging or something like that. This is not this is one of those, I have the big beefy attacks and you can't touch me, which honestly it's Beerus, so I guess canonically it makes sense from a card design point.
That's what I'm thinking. Is like,
I don't really care for it, because the only way that you're going to deal with Beerus is to get him down to 0 stages, or to get him down low. And the fact that he actively fights against it the entire way is not the best.
Because in a totally unrelated thing recently, I wasn't involved, I just threw dice. I watched friends fight the giant Galactus full-size monster figure from HeroClix, and I watched them. He just no-soul damage constantly.
Yeah.
He just says, like, did you do that much? Well, I'm going to subtract 2 from it. Do you still hit me? Oh, yeah? Reroll your dice.
Yeah.
We're just, really?
That's how it is. Oh, you almost crit me? No.
No.
You're only going to do 4 this time. Destroy the top 2 cards of each player's deck. Timer. It's going to be a timer.
Yeah.
It's going to
Funny
be a
you
timer.
should say that.
Yeah.
I fought this deck on camera, and all these tricks you're describing came into play during that fight.
Yep. You may discard a card from your hand, search your life deck for a style name card with destroy or banish, and the text box does not banish. After you use some place into your hand. Very specific, it's going after its name card.
Very much so. He can search out his own name card, but think of how much early shoot...
Or a styled card. Ooh, if you do them in red, there's a lot of them with destroy or banish. Well, destroy or banish.
Well, in particular, I think of like...
I think blue, actually, now that I think about it.
Really? You go with blue?
Yeah.
I was going to say black. To me, Beerus, his style is black.
The fact that you can go and search out things like the blue knee, not blue knee. Is it blue knee? The one that lets you destroy ally setup or drill and
Oh, Blue Betrayal?
Blue Betrayal, there we go.
There is that. It's a toolbox.
Oh.
Well, the reason I bring it up is, remember I told you, everything about all these new cards makes me think of revisiting sets 1 through 3. There was a crud ton of black. That
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, there is, and I can see it, like, even in green. There's a lot. Well, you can't do green.
Yeah,
But,
no saying for this guy.
No saying for this guy. But, I mean, like, if that was a power in green, it would be stupid broken.
Also, may I offer some information that is useless?
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't Beerus have the alien trait?
Because he's a god, not an alien.
No. I'm saying, if I was in his position, is Goku suddenly not a Saiyan anymore? If he were to ever be God of Destruction? I'm just saying, it's joke intended, that would he lose his Saiyan trait then? Because, okay, he gets this trait. Because Vegito gets multiple traits. No, he gets fused traits. That's different. What? The game's real silly. Wait, what? I'm just saying, I don't think, like, it would break the game and be unnecessary and real stupid if you did that, but...
So what you're telling me is the Kami should have the God trait and the Namekian trait?
I want both.
Super Kami Guru.
Oh. So let's look at his next level.
So 3. When you reach this rejuvenate 3, so we're going cooler. To minimize the mill that you've done to yourself, you keep the attack, and so we're just stacking now.
He retains his other ability.
Then we're just banishing stuff. By the way, his energy attack, well, now it's 2 stages, right?
Yep, 2.
Now it's 2 stages.
So it actually has a cost for once.
So it actually has a cost, but that's because it's ridiculously more powerful now.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's banish anything.
Oh!
And then 6 life. I don't care if I don't crit with that. Just the fact that I just banish something, I would almost say that, like, you either need one or the other. It's either 6 life or you need a banish. Like that's a little too much.
No, I have 110%.
Oh, and then hit banish 5 cards for your opponent's discard pile. Yeah, no, there's way too much going on that attack. That's
like, do I think
that's a named card.
On the guy, though.
On the guy, yeah. That's a named card effect on the guy. That's literally like Broly's Eraser Cannon on Beerus.
So, speaking of that, like, I am actually pretty okay with the idea of, like, is he thematically correct with all I do is destroy stuff?
Yeah.
Totally cool.
Cool. Yeah, you destroy the top of the deck, you destroy all this other stuff.
So,
cool, he's a god, he's supposed to be kind of harder to hit and all this other stuff. Sure.
Oh, that makes sense. But here's where
the question is, in a game mechanically, is that fair?
No.
And is that a great way to do it? Like, Broly just does nothing but destroy and beat the shit out of people.
Yeah.
But Broly was more balanced than this.
So
that's saying something, because Broly was kind of ridiculous when he first came out.
So how about this? I don't change any of these effects as far as what's written here. What I do is I change where they're placed. Would this be better? Would you rather have the banish 5 up here and then the banish setup drill ally are attached on the hit?
I can see that being more impactful.
Like, in my opinion, yeah.
And maybe, like, banish 3 instead of 5.
Yeah, 5's, like, that's a good portion of your discard,
and I don't know if it should be 6 life, though.
Because
but it is 2 energy, which that does make it harder.
No, it wouldn't.
But at the same time, you can't beat him down as easily.
He has all his minuses.
His minuses, and then look at his power levels, for God's sakes.
Now, I get this. This is a level 4 cards. Yeah, look at that. Level 4 cards abilities on a level 3. And that's where I'm going to say another problem.
Well, and that's like I said, that comes down to all the anger hate. So now we have to ramp up what everything is now. Because now you have to have more of a reward to reach the higher levels because you had to script and save up to them.
So you mean to tell me I get to say that thing I say a lot in our videos? Gee, Joey, for hating GT as much as you do, why does everything you do feel like it?
Yeah, it's seriously, because like I feel like they have to ramp everything up because it's harder to get to things now.
It
right?
is. Well, at least in theory it should be.
It should be in theory.
I'm going to let you hate on level 4 now.
That's fine. I will definitely, because he's almost in
you're going to see.
He's almost in another bracket.
You mean like he's in a different game, man?
Yeah, like seriously, like they're gonna have to introduce almost another. They're gonna have to do like what they did in the original.
6 of his power stages are not even an F. That's neat.
It is cool,
really.
But then his last stage is almost an entirely own stage set. If we go by the ones from everything else, because it's almost 500 million.
Oh my gosh. Oh, no.
And we think about that. I just want you to think about that. 500 million.
So, what do you think of these abilities, by the way?
It's like I said for everything else. It's a little over. Is it thematically correct? Sure. But like I said, though, it's like one of those like, does the game need it? Probably not.
No. I'm okay with the character having a flavor. I'm okay with them having a theme. All that seems like really neat stuff to me. I actually would rather they had flavor than no flavor, because it seems like we can't get away from that sometimes.
Like this is just an anti-Rejuve deck, and I don't think that Rejuve is that big of a problem. It needs something that specifically counters it.
And yet, here we are.
But yeah, here we are. I mean, I guess it makes sense with the fact that all the new Dragon Balls shuffle everything in. So I mean, like.
Yeah, I didn't thought about that. If Beerus is carrying the Dragon Balls, doesn't use them to mitigate mill.
Yeah, he uses them. He will. He'll be like Cooler, Red Cooler. Do you remember Red Cooler?
I do.
This is Red Cooler.
It was awful time.
This is literally Red Cooler 2.0.
Okay, look at this guy. He eats your whole discard pile.
Yeah, that's what.
Then he has a power that makes you mill 4, lower your MP level. Okay, so cooler powers. Banish all your opponent's Sebs, drill allies, and attach card. I thought it was ore.
Nope. And this is one of those where they're trying to call back to Slug, but in a way that makes it even more broken. Because remember, his 3 is better than his 4, and that's what Slug has the problem with.
Yep. So he has to get back down there. I think it's neat. I think every aspect of it can be used to be toned down. Keep the minus if you want. Banish the discard pile if you feel like it.
Now, the nice thing about him leveling down is that he's only in F. Because he goes down to 5. Oh, actually, sorry, you'll be in 5, so he'll be right below F.
Yeah, so
just barely.
That's why he's built the way he is for stages. I never paid attention to that. Like his power stages, like the way that they're numbered, are like, oh, okay.
So if you get lowered, you're fine.
You're not going to.
The problem is though, is that outside of Ball 1 and Kneecap, right? Kneecap. Blue Kneecap?
Well, there's Neck Beam.
Neck Beam, there we go.
There's Knee Bash, the one that lets you de-level if you're banished too.
Yeah.
So there's a Takedown. So it has a bunch of de-levelers, but they all need you to hit.
Mm-hmm. And you're not gonna.
Not as often as you'd like. So I'm going to ask you if you notice anything missing from Beerus Hakai, and you tell me if you see it.
I guess I'll say.
Because I think there's something missing. And you tell me if you spot it. From the day Andrew printed this off, like in early August, late July, and I was like, what? Oh, go ahead and read off the effect if you like.
Okay, so if it's discarded or destroyed from your life deck, you may banish it to destroy the top 2 cards of an opponent's life deck. And then powers to banish an opponent's set up, drill, ally, or attached card.
Okay, what's missing?
So banish after use.
There you go. See? I said that to Andrew. I was like, you banish after use? He's like, no, I don't have another. The what? Why would...
Well,
why
yeah,
would
because you're supposed to go grab it with your level 2.
And
then beat the shit out of your opponent.
I'm gonna say no. Nitties at Fanzy. Like you're gonna tell me, give me some elaborate answer why. But it's gonna get reused and eventually runs out of targets. Yeah, I know. I can read, but I don't want anything this powerful. Let me put it this way: find a way to recur this from the banish zone through somebody's powers or abilities that specifically target named cards, because that's how you handle it with Super Boo. Where he specifically searched the banish zone for named cards. So do that instead of this. Yeah, just cut that crud out.
Yeah, no. It's yeah.
Like if you insist on making it not banish after use, fix the AMP. Sounds like more work, doesn't it? I've had Beerus Snap used against me.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, limited 2 per deck. If it's destroyed from your life deck, you may place into play. Yay, because that's the sort of thing you need. So...
What?
I'm sorry. It's just like this is what Lilo needed, and he never got.
It would have been nice.
It would have been really nice.
Speaking of that, bull crud, I had this happen to me. I had Andrew by the throat, and he's like, "Beer snap him out." He popped smoke and got out of there.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Block is the one for it. So then you just end combat every time. You just go in, you mill, and then you end combat.
We did do that too.
Yeah, a lot. That's exactly.
So,
sorry.
So my final stuff for Beerus is thematically he's neat. I think as far as finally, MPs having flavors and stuff they seemingly out of the box synergize with, he's great. I just think there's a couple of ands and uhs and you know what I'm talking about. They're like, why is that here? Why would you open that up to abusability the way you have? And now we're going to move on to the next MP. I straight up do not recall who came next. Hey, it's Captain Ginyu! This I've used so much, I already I could just tell you from memory what he does. He is under Frog and Freedom.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So we've been using this one enough, like in decks, that I do actually know it. So the thing I was going to tell people is look, Ginyu hasn't had support since set 1. And has had anti-allies for 14 sets.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and the worst part is, he's still really good regardless of all that.
He was one of those few guys who just worked and never needed to be really overhauled.
Oh, and that's kind of how I felt with Krillin, too. And then they changed Krillin, and then it's like, but the old Krillin's better still.
Oh, gosh.
There's some of the new Krillin stuff that's good, but they keep on trying to reinvent the wheel, and it's like, no, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's already good.
I also loathe that he became real, drill and setup heavy, and I don't understand that.
Well, because that was always his thing, because he's always black and orange. So they just wanted to capitalize on it, and it was just like, okay, whatever. But it's just like, it's one of those...
I'm going to make you read Ginyu's level 1.
So, back in action! All your Ginyu Force allies may make actions regardless of your MP's power stages. Just stupid good, really good, really strong. You will get the shit kicked out of you though if you don't. Use when they're in combat, search your life deck for a Ginyu Force ally, play it, and raise your anger 1.
Okay, I'm gonna throw all of my I've played this shoot. No, actually, no, you go first because give your observations, not having seen it very much.
So, tag team.
Beautiful.
2 tag.
Oh yeah.
Have 2 allies, first turn, and you can shoot them off. Right off the bat.
It is wonderful.
If you get a handful of allies at the beginning of the game, though, holy shit. You just pass. and then you get a 4th one. A 5th one. It's very good. I can see why they raise your anger 1 passively through that, because they don't want you on there for very long. Because number 1, if you do, you will die a very horrible death.
Do you like how he has the Namekian trait, by the way?
Yeah. Because he's a Namekian frog. Oh, God! We can do Namekian fucking Ginyu now.
I would be amused as all get out. I don't think he can technically use it, but he gets Namekian trait cards.
Well,
so,
I thought Namekians... Okay, so the Namekian... The whole point of the trait system was to make it easier for the masters.
No, it's
they
just...
still are assigning...
No, they're just on the card if you carry that trait, whatever one.
No. But they're still assigning specific characters to the mastery.
Yes. Gosh, yes. So, no, he couldn't play Namekian style mastery, but he can still use Namekian trait cards.
Because that still makes no sense then. How come... Well, I mean, I guess it does, thematically.
But at the same
time... still can do
Namekian. That never made sense. We're 1999 to present. I'm 22 years later. I still think it's dumb that he can do Namekian
Use his father, leave him alone. He wants to be like his daddy.
No! All the awful... So Mr. Piccolo was visiting last night. Alright, so I'm going to throw some stuff at you guys. So having played this Ginyu a lot, he's going to substitute two really important problems. One is, I'm in love with the Ginyu stack, the original one. I think every one of them are great. Every one of them is still effective, very powerful. Mm-hmm. And here's my thing, though. I use this level 1. Here's why.
Because it's so much better.
Yeah, the other level 1 would let you search. Fantastic. It consumes an action.
Yes, it consumes an action. Consumes a stage, doesn't it?
It has 3 stages, actually.
3 stages. And...
it has to hit to do the other thing.
And you can't use your ally.
Not until you're at 0, yeah.
Yeah.
So fighting energy deck, you could just be out of luck.
Yeah.
So here's
a physical deck. Yeah. Oh, an energy deck, I guess too. But yeah.
So I love it. I love doing the 2 allies with tag. I love pulling Ginyu allies regardless.
Here's my question though.
Yeah.
Because now we have the same issue with. Because now we have the issue where they're trying to make the Ginyu better.
Yeah.
Are they trying to make the Ginyu Force better? Because here's the problem now.
Because all of them are kind of...
They are so poopy on stages, on power levels now, that Beerus, like, you could have Raccoon fight Beerus, and he couldn't do anything to Beerus.
Well, I have a deck I need to show you.
Okay. There are ways to buff it up and stuff like that. But, I mean, like... That's the other problem. Like, they are so far power crabs that I feel some of them would not be able to.
Is that a balancing to this? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that a way you balance out his fantastic support for his allies?
Yeah. I mean, like...
Because he can't do much.
Yeah, because he can't do much. I mean, if you think about it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. It always was. Well, no, it used to be death by 1,000 freaking... kunai being thrown at you.
Laser beams in your face.
Yeah, seriously. But
so here's what I'll say from experience. Using their actions is fantastic. It's unbelievably dumb. I love searching for Raccoon, getting to shoot his attack regardless. Here's the other thing. I've been passively gaining the anger on level 1 when all the allies are searched out. Do you know why? 2 different sentences, brother. It's just that when entering, raise your anger effect otherwise. Yep. And I'm in love with that. So that was my thing, is that my Ginyu always
the best part is, you still search your deck every time, which means you're shuffling every time.
Yes! Oh my gosh, the things I have been doing. So I've been telling Andrew that. I've been like, I shuffle my deck and raise my anger because my Ginyu allies are out. So I've been using that, and do you know how few games or characters have when entering combat raise your anger? Almost nobody! So I love this. It fixed every problem I had with my old build. I always used to say,
wouldn't you always be angry if you were stuck in a frog's body?
Well, I always angry. Don't you remember that was a secret? He was always angry. Alright, so we're going to look at level 2.
Then we have Clever Frog.
So I don't use his level 2, and you'll tell me what you think. You want to read off his abilities for me?
Okay, so you're getting Force allies. I can make actions regardless of your MP level, and then powers to search your deck for, I'm guessing, an alien ally. And play it. Rejuvenate X equals the number of Ginyu ally faces you control. I can see why you wouldn't use it because by the time you get there, you don't have very many others to search for. My thing is, I would still use it. And the difference is because I would rather have the rejuvenation.
Oh, I have found it wonderful, by the way. I love rejuvenating huge swings every turn, because normally whatever deck you play him, he don't rejuve. He has no, rejuve capability.
Yeah.
It never has. But speaking of that, it's super neat. I've used it, like when we just went straight the new 1 through 4 when we first started playing with this chip.
Yeah.
And it worked fantastic, except for when I got stranded on this level a lot. That's my one complaint. It has a tendency to stall out here.
Yeah.
It's not a bad level to stall out on.
You don't have the anger game that you did for the other one?
The other one is I play his original level 2 because, one, it angers up fast because theoretically I should have all my Ginyus out by the time I get there. Mm-hmm. The second is it pulls it from the graveyard to discard pile to undo stuff.
Which sometimes that's the problem.
And that was the kicker. Is that the only reason I do it is because I'll stall out here if I don't. Mm-hmm. It's still a fantastic power. I have no complaints whatsoever. It's just, I don't like to stay here.
Well, it's like the level 1 Krillin. I would rather have the level 1 Krillin because of the way that I play.
Exactly.
It's a consistently getting more anger that way than I would from the other ways.
Now, level 3 I run, so I do alternate 1, alternate 3. And you'll see why. Take a look.
Okay. Your gaining force allies may make regardless of your MP level, and they get +2 life.
So that's the same as his other level 3, but with better effects.
Yep. Start playing step, search your life or discard pile for an alien ally and play it. So did the other gaining forces retroactively get the ally symbol? The alien symbol?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, so power banish X cards from a player's discard pile. X equals the number of gaining force in play. That's really good.
Yep.
He's an F.
Oh yeah.
So
you like all
that kind of helps.
You like the nonsense that this is. Like I have AT. I can finally do something.
Yep.
I can help to deal with your anti-ally stuff.
Beerus 4.
Ooh. And I can hit target stuff in your discard pile. I can pull allies back from the life deck or discard pile, which is rather important.
Wasn't that like one of the whole points of the tag wheel mastery was you could shuffle them back in? But
well, tag only does 2 things. It always rejuves for the banish zone.
That was the banish zone. That was it. Banish zone. Sorry, I knew it was either one or the other, and I couldn't remember if it was banish zone or discard pile. So
it ain't bad. It ain't bad.
No, it covers you on all bases at that point, so you're good. Like. Yeah, no, I can see that.
Yeah, I got no complaints. It's fine. My thing was, it gave me all of the powers, and the other one, it just added new stuff on top.
Yes.
So I have no complaints. This was an easy swap. And Cruz's build of this uses the alternate level 3 as well.
Yes.
We came to the same conclusion. We're like, let's use 3. What was it? Captain Ginyu Elite. I have gotten here like once or twice out of many, many games, so I don't remember what it does.
So it's the same as the last one. You can use your abilities from the gaining force without whatever, regardless of level you're at, and you get +2 life cards. Your attacks. Use at the start of your playing step. Choose your life deck, search your life deck, or discard pile for an alien ally and play it. And then you have an energy attack that costs nothing.
The secret of free energy was not to put a number in front.
Yeah. Seriously. Banish X card for players, discard pile, rejuvenate X, which is the number again force allies play, and +4 allies. So if someone lets you get to this, it's basically their fault.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't mind that. I think it's super neat. I think having that just single-minded synergy with the Ginyu Force, all of it's great. I love all the above. Mm-hmm. Here's why I don't use it. Because his level 4 from the other one is still superior. Do you remember? All your allies can make actions, so it's not Ginyu Force only, and it's +X. X the number of allies.
Yeah.
So I still go with his old level 4, so does Cruz. So that's where I was like, I love your power. I'll never use it.
And then he got a new card, because actually his cards were not the most amazing.
No! Captain Ginyu's Pain is like the dumbest card in the game. Like, you never went for mill in that whole build ever, and all of a sudden they want you to do that. Why? How about Captain Ginyu's Pain?
I mean, it's not bad now, because, like, you can use it for other things. Like, you can just get your stuff in the graveyard and then pull it out, but, like, back in the day it was...
No!
So now he gets an Omni block.
Yeah, take a look, my friend. By the way, I slid this over in my Ginyu build. I just
still gets the search. That's so funny.
Oh, yes. And Banish Zone, sucker!
And Banish Zone. And 2 endurance on top of it.
Hey, you ever jumped up for joy and knocked out 4 dudes? I have.
It wasn't 4, it was 5, but you know.
Oh. Whoa! That's a third leg joke. One of the ladies was pretty into it. But I was going to say about that one, I love this card. I love everything about it. Yes, it's managed after you, so it has more forethought than Hakai. And I love that it has endurance. I love that it's event, so it can be sphered, so it's balanced.
Yeah.
Everything about it is just fantastic. I slid it over. What's that card called? It's the Blue Omni. It's an event from set 1. I'm talking about it. It has Goku and Piccolo flying on it.
What you're talking about?
Sidestep, sliding dodge.
Yeah, something like that.
You know that one.
I know which one you're talking
An event with
but did it like go back into the deck though? Fewer or less power level than your opponent.
No, you're thinking of the one that has King Kai on it. That is prevention.
Okay.
No, it's I think it's blue sliding dodge or something of that nature. But yeah, that silly thing was my. Oh man, I should have my cards here. I might have to go grab my stuff. Oh, that's nice. What is the name of that card? It's not blue sliding dodge.
No, because that was in the original.
That's score. Holy cow! I'm making up stuff. Oh, you know the card I'm talking about though. It's the event that stops physical energy attack in turn 3. Well, yeah. Basically, since they were so similar, they're both events. They both blocks. I was like, paper sleeve right in front of them. So they're still there. They're just covered up with these.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think I was going to do that, but here we are. So, love it. Everything about it. Thematically fantastic card. James, I'm going to let you... Whoops, wait a minute. Was that the only one? Yeah, that was the end of Ginyu. So, by and large, I love everything they did with Ginyu. I think it was all steps in the right direction. The fact that I can still mix his old stack is wonderful because I actually need his abilities kind of a lot. So,
yeah.
No complaints whatsoever. I'm going to have you start and read off this next one because I have to grab something from upstairs as my deck box. So, as we're talking, in case I got to reference stuff.
Sounds good.
Because I've been doing, like needing to look at my deck, and I've been like, ah.
You're fine.
No, it's not okay. Where are we at? Oh, come on, game. For the love. And then it shows me, like, I don't know, a, what's the word? Archived version of Dead Zone where it doesn't have all the stuff on it. Then I have to go back and hit the home button and go back here. Come on. Who is next? What are next? Is it Frieza? No, it's Piccolo. Piccolo returns. So, did you see this at all prior? Did I show you any of this before?
Don't know if you showed me. You might have sent me the Piccolo.
Okay.
Not too sure.
I'm going to give you not horrifying. I got to get away from these terms. I got to give you a heads up. What would you not have wanted to see with Piccolo? Let me throw this at you. Would you be okay if I built you an MP, a Piccolo, that fixates on Beam Cannon and Piccolo's Deadly Chop, or whatever it's called? The physical that does 6, no prevention.
Yeah.
Would that be something you'd want? Because too bad, we're there. All right, you read that stuff off.
If I remember, his neck chop wasn't terrible.
It's actually a really good card, it just vanishes.
Yeah, that's the problem. So your name tag costs 1 less stage, to a minimum of 0. So that's always good. He's more energy predominant. Use when entering combat, you can search your life deck for a copy of Piccolo's Special Beam Cannon, place it in your hand, raise your anger 1. So basically kind of what we've seen with a lot of the other stuff where we have to kind of get that energy, that anger gain, because we have so much more cards in the game now that actually hate on anger, that we need to actually bump up the anger, which makes no goddamn sense at all.
What you looking at?
I was looking at level 1 and just talking about how, basically it does what everything else does, where you have to raise your anger passively with your power, because there's so much more hate now that you have to
on the other side of the coin.
It. Yeah, it's now you have to offset it by having everything gain anger.
Great. From afar, you might not notice this dichotomy being built, and now you just think it's broken.
Well, it's like you wouldn't have the problem where everything would need anger if you didn't have so many things that took away anger. You went too ham on it. Like I said, it was always like, it wasn't bad. Like, I don't feel like it was too bad when we were still playing with Panini, even with that last set, because if you could crit enough, you didn't have to worry about it. The problem was that there were a lot of cards that had +2 anger, +2 anger, +2 anger, and that was a problem. That was an issue. But like, at the same hand, when you looked at like the cards that were doing it, like that was really their only win con. If you were able to somehow shut them off from being able to win by MPV, or even playing like spamming ball one,
shifting
like
maneuver, dang it all.
That was you were fine.
Yeah, it's wild when you start thinking about it. So he has a cost reduction. So we've been experimenting that with Crusaders, and we've been talking about cost reduction. How powerful is cost reduction? And we've been thinking about
very powerful.
Yes, in practice, it's been unreal.
Very, very powerful. Because, like, in all honesty, like a lot of the really good Namekian cards were 2s and stuff like that. So being able to throw them for 1s, actually, hell, even your really strong 1s. What was that one? There's a Namekian energy attack that was like 6 life for 1.
Oh gosh, I forget what. There's a bunch of early stuff like that.
Yeah, and so that being free is just is stupid.
User entry comment. Search life deck for a copy. Yeah, basically gets your passive anger and gets you your card in your hand so it can actually synergize. Which I'm all for using special beam cannon, like crazy. I don't know. I don't think building a whole MP around it was a wise idea. You know why? You can get this, what is it called? Black Scout Maneuver and lose them all.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like the fuck?
So my thing is we're building up Piccolo for the 3rd time.
We have to do something new.
When are we gonna get a new nail?
oh, we had to go there. I think we got it. What's the alternate level 2? I think.
I know. No, we got an alternate level 1.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got the thing where he synergized with what's his name?
Guru.
It's Guru and what's his name? Dende.
Yeah.
So do you remember that Angelo talked about his Dende for 7 sets and we never had a Dende? So for people listening here, we have horrible running gags as far as dumb stuff being said when we play a video game or playing DBZ. A friend of ours loved to say, "I'm gonna touch you with my Dende," and there was no Dende card for 7 sets, and it was very funny they finally got a Dende card so we could do that. So, alright.
I felt like he was one of those that really just needed a power boost. If he could have gotten a power boost, he would have been a lot better.
I am very okay with that. I would love to see them, like these people stay more.
I just remember that
contemporaneous.
Orange Adept one that I made that actually ran fairly decent.
At some point, you need to do that again. Like I said, I had the Orange Adept decks built.
The problem is that his MP level was so low that you were just...
Well, you remember when he synergized with Dende?
I know.
Right?
And you would just go grab it with tag team. Yeah. And I just didn't want to run blue. I don't like blue. Blue is not my playstyle.
I think I like blue's monstrous physicals. Because you remember how I have so many +5 physicals?
Oh, I know.
Love them.
I was doing that with orange way before you were even doing that with blue.
Whoa, what are you playing, sir? Oh, but we were talking about how... So level 1 to me, underpowered, I don't know what's the point.
I mean, it's not.
Something's going on here. I just don't know what it is.
Per +3, per +4. I love how they reduce his energy cost for
despite having higher PUR.
PUR, yeah. It's just like okay, so we're gonna make him easier to throw energy attacks and make it harder to get him down to 0 for physical decks.
You want to hear something a little like disconcerting? Now, James, I don't know if you remember playing Score. I don't remember if you ever did. Okay. Do you remember how we said that there were too many cards that were stopping energy and physical, right?
Yeah.
It got to be an epidemic. So they literally built a new mechanic to counter this epidemic. It's like, stop being Microsoft. You created the viruses that you sell antivirus for.
Yep.
Stop
that. Basically doing that with this, too.
Well, speaking of this, though...
Well, yeah, because once again, let's read his level 2, because his level 2 power basically proves my point even further. So your name tag costs 1 lead stage, and our focus.
So do you remember what? So focus was the kicker to beat your omni blocks, but do you know what focus does now?
No.
Pushes through time.
Okay.
It never did that before, because in the past it would shoot through the initial effect, but will be stopped by time floating. It don't in this version of the game.
Okay. Hey, look, we made a new mechanic for the thing that we could beat the shit out of, because, we have too much rejuvenation now.
Like, you could have straight up...
Time. I see time. Time everywhere.
So that's why it's also hurtful, because we're saying, like, hold up, dog, you made this problem, now you're selling me the solution?
So it's a power that's a 2 energy attack. Okay, so it's 2 energy attack.
Raise your anger.
Raise your anger 1. search your discard pile for 2 named cards and rejuvenate them. I thought Special Beam Cannon was Banish after use.
No, it is not.
No.
It would. You're thinking of its other effect. Target a card in their discard pile or their life deck.
Okay, and banish it. Okay. I'm used to most of them being banished after use because they're so strong, and especially like in a deck that just rejuvenates like a mofo. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard from Andrew his theory about why set 1 had some of the synergies it did. Is straight up Panini never thought they would get maybe 1 or 2 sets out of this, and thought they would abandon it and have to get their money out and run. So they didn't think long term because there was no point. I think that's probably at least part of it. The other is they weren't great. They weren't great in a lot of the design.
Well, because you gotta understand, Panini was, before this, primarily a sports card company.
Yep.
This was actually like their first real endeavor into a trading card game. And then they did Meta X, and Meta X just did so badly that it never saw the light of day. So,
yeah, I haven't heard them mention it in a long time. I think they went back to like their football trading card game, which
well, the football stuff it sells more.
Does it?
Yeah.
Like the
oh my gosh, some of those trading cards. You go talk to John, or you go look at the store.
Yeah.
Just go look at the stuff. Some of those packs are like $100 per pack.
No.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. Lottery tip advice: if you want to go big, go for sports trading cards. You're more likely to make some money than you are lotto cards.
Oh, it hurts. So this is a neat power. I think this should have been his level 1.
Well, I wasn't even finished reading it all because if it's prevented, you search your life. If damage from it is prevented, so if they endure it or anything,
this power existed once already. Do you remember?
You get to get a special beam cannon from your deck and place it into your hand, and it's 5 life. So they either take a crit or you go get a special beam cannon to punish them some more. I'm sorry, ultimatum.
That wholeheartedly agree. Remember 18's level 2 hero stack? Remember it does the same thing if you stop it and search.
Ultimatums I never really liked.
I don't mind this one. I think it's a neat power, but I guess that's the reason it's a level 2 and not a level 1.
Yeah.
If it did either thing, like it rejuves.
Well, but here's the thing, because they unbanned. Didn't they unban the original Namekian Mastery?
Or what am I thinking of? I can't think of the name. Knowledge is still out there, but Restored is still gone.
Okay.
So the second one still is frozen. The first one's still active for some reason.
So here's the thing: you're going to get because each time that you rejuvenate your card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna gain 2 anger.
Okay. Yep. That's a 2 anger one on knowledge, yeah. Without doing hardly anything. And then realistically speaking, you could snag another special beam cannon, and special beam cannon rejuvenates. So
it's at least a 2 anger. It's at least a 2 anger. Yep. If you have it in the disc. Well, because odds are you grabbed it with 1.
Yep.
Now, if you went 2 turns in 1 before you leveled out to 2, which if you're playing knowledge, it's really not. It's going to be stupid hard for you not to level up.
We've been talking about this all day. We've been thinking Namekian because that's all we think about. Sometimes we get tunnel vision. Would you like to try this in Orange Energy?
Good.
Let's think about that. You have your energy combat cards out, and you're just throwing the whole time.
Get 3 stages every time 1 hits.
The very notion of having all this rejuve in an orange, that'd be nice. I'd do it. So level 2 is actually because of it is a level 2. I think I'll give it a pass.
I think the reason why we always think Namekian because his abilities are so focused on Namekian that it just synergizes so well that it's like
we assumed it was.
Why would you put it anywhere else? It's like I said, we were talking about Krillin. I always go to orange, and it's either orange or black because red has drills and setups, blue has red drills and setups. Why do we never think about that for Krillin? Because it just doesn't really fit Krillin.
Not really. Not comparatively.
His gear set, it doesn't fit that. So that's why I think we always focus with Piccolo and Namekian because
he should fit with it best, or at least
Well, you got an ultimatum of I get a crit, which lets me steal back my Dragon Balls, or I get my name stat, which I could then use to potentially crit and get my Dragon Balls.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? Hey, everybody listening, listen up. Do you want this card? From now on, I want this power to get a new name. It's called 2 for flinching.
2 for flinching. That's literally it. It's either you take it and I get something back, or It's
you flinched? Oh, okay. You prevented. I'm gonna grab it again. Take another.
And then I'm gonna use it again. And it's like, well, because is it beam cannon?
Let me look at beam cannon.
Yeah, I think it might be 4. It might be 3. I don't know. I don't think it was that strong of an attack.
No, it was 4. I recall.
4. Okay.
It was fine. I just never had a crit capability, and that made some things frustrating.
Yeah.
Because I recall landing it kind of a lot, and I recall
because it was always 4. Because it was not a threat.
There we go. Cost 2 stages, 3 life. Shut my mouth. Rejuvenate 1.
I thought it was 3. Okay.
Look at the hit. Name 2 different non-direct. I think we finished 2. I think we're going to move on to 3.
Let's just do that. Let's talk about beam cannon, because we were talking about we built it all around it, and so we built it around a card that is dramatically underpowered compared to other cards, other named cards. Because we were talking about how Beerus had basically a named card on his level 3.
Oh, yes, he did.
And then now let's talk about beam cannon, because beam cannon is one of the first ones. So it's a 2-stage, you said?
2-stage and 3 life.
2-stage for 3 life.
It does auto rejuvenate. The rejuvenate's not on hit.
Okay, yes. So it gets you in anger if you're playing the Namekian Master.
Yeah.
That's it. So, and then you have to name 2 cards.
Oh, yeah.
And once again, I hate naming cards because I have to know your opponent's deck.
And the worst part, you got to take 2. I don't want to take 2 seconds to look at their discard pile, their banish zone, and just guess what they got. You know what I mean? Like, it's neat. It's a little bit better than Scout Maneuver in that regard, because you don't have to name and hope you hit as many as you can. Like they're not in their hand or something. Because that happens a lot. Yeah. They'll name a card and just there weren't any.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, like, it's... I feel like if you're going to do that, you need to change Special Beam Cannon and bump it up to being a little bit better.
Would you say that... No. Are you telling me, sir, that you would want his... would you prefer his cost to stay -1, or would damage to be +2 life cards?
If it's +2 life cards, I could easily pay 2 stages for 5 life.
You'll find 2 stages.
I'll find 2 stages for 5. Well, and not only that, but, like, it makes his ability... These level 2s, it is 2 for flinching at that point.
Yeah.
Because it's either you're taking a crit, or I'm going to go grab the thing to then crit you next turn.
Yeah. See, I'm fine with all the above. Like, let's. I mean,
it's
forget
5 stages and 5 life and a rejuve, and then I search myself. That sounds more like a named attack.
See, then I can see that becoming a new type of deck, a new archetype, and actually seeing play instead of just being, oh, that's neat, I never use it.
That's cool, I'll never use it. And I mean, like, if it was a 1 stage that was 4 rejuve and then all of that, I would still be fine with that. Because it's only 1 stage for 4 life.
What we're trying to tell you here, folks, is that having reviewed Special Beam Cannon, considering I haven't used it since probably set 4 or 5,
we probably haven't used it since 2 or 3. Let's be honest.
It's been a minute. I think I was using it for sentimental reasons past that point. But realistically,
you weren't using it in your physical beatdown.
No.
Piccolo deck.
No.
Why would you?
That's true. I came in to play at set 4, and then I never looked back. But realistically, we're just saying, folks, we think that the best thing to do is to do away with the reduced cost thing and do the extra damage thing.
I would say that. I would.
We're okay with that. It needs to be. It's the only way to make it more relevant. It's already specific enough. It already says your named attacks. There's 2. So,
yeah. So the only other way that you can go with it is the new one, but we'll get to that in a second.
Lethal Chop, right? Piccolo.
No, Multiform.
What? Whoa! Is that the reason this wasn't like that?
Hey,
while we're talking, let me get refreshed about Lethal Chop.
Yeah, because we could look at that too. And I'll go on to 3 while you're looking that up. But I mean, the problem is it specifically says Beam Cannon every time. If it just said a name card, it would be better. But,
so it's already specific enough? You mean there literally is no problem doing what we're talking about? The synergy's already there, just say it does more damage? Wow, so this is easier to change than I thought.
Yeah, no, it is very more. I mean, the focus is nice. The focus is fine. Like, it's cool. Like, it...
Oh, Lethal Chop cost a stage. I forgot that. I really did. Physical attack, cost 1 stage, damage cannot be prevented. So you could modify it. It's not unstoppable. You just can't prevent it. And it's either 6 stages or 6 life, and you can shuffle a non-mastery card and play it back in the deck.
Gotta go find that.
I know! And sadly, it is a banish after use, so that's kind of rough for me.
But his 3 is your tax cost minus 1 stage. So this one now, it goes from your named to just your tax cost
So
on that
neat,
stage.
because realistically speaking, if we get... And I want knowledge to be frozen. I desperately want to make a knowledge to just...
Because it's very easy to get to the ring.
It's enough. Stop. Knowledge should have been frozen 5 sets ago, because then you could have been building a different set.
There's a reason why Panini froze it.
What was it? It got errated a bunch of times. I know that.
Yeah.
But, okay, it's got the Umber Focus, so fantastic.
When entering combat, gain 3 stages. Search your discard pile for 3 named cards and rejuvenate them. I mean, not bad, except, 2 of his named cards out of 3 banish after use.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, if you kill or lose your beam cannons...
Yeah, you just that.
The whole deck synergizes with 1 card.
Yep. Search your life deck for a named card and place it into your hand.
And I know some people are going to tell us there's a bunch of cards that say count as a name card. Like, no.
That's cool and all, but...
You have to be at level 3 before you can synergize with them.
Well, I mean, like
they say stuff like your named attacks cost by neat. I don't even know what named attacks we're talking about, if not lethal chopper beam cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think, what is it? 1 card counts as a named card?
It's an event.
It blows up your opponent's in play cards. Also, why is Piccolo's power level so low?
Because I think they're... that's the weird thing, because, even in Super, he was still relatively... He sees the biggest power jumps, always. But you know why he was always kept lower? Because he's more of the fan favorite, and so they did it to divert attention back to Goku. That's why they nerfed him so hard. He still goes into it, and he goes up against a lot of the bigger things and still wins. So,
here's what I'll say: is Piccolo. Remember I told you I kept track of all the power levels.
He stays comparable. Actually, the strongest Dragon Ball character in terms of power creep and stuff like that. You laugh.
I know who it is, because it never's going to make sense to me.
It's always Krillin.
See, folks, if you're paying attention to the series, and like we said, doing your headcanon even after the Frieza saga, and keeping track of power levels by how they're presented, Krillin realistically finishes the series out at probably 150, 200,000 power level?
Something like that.
No! He's ridiculously high above that.
He goes Super Saiyan 2 power levels or something like that.
Stuff.
He is the strongest Earthling.
So what we're saying is Krillin should not be able to keep up with hardly anything, considering he finishes it only slightly stronger than probably Tien. In terms of if you actually looked at their power levels, realistically, right about there. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, Piccolo, I've heard him described as far as his max power level after Z going into Super, strangely enough, will actually reach about perfected, almost Zenkai boosted Cell. So he will basically be able to finish out the Cell Saga by himself by the end of that, which I think is really neat. So that's what I keep thinking. His power level should be probably at this level, should be capping at 3 milli, should be hitting 4.5 on this 4. I don't know if that's the case. I don't remember these MP stack hardly at all. No! What kind of... Who did this? Who?
Doesn't even hit 3.
Oh, you people know what you're talking about. Alright, so, our verdict on this one is just that it's okay, but you can get gutted out losing Beam Cannon, and it's just... I don't want to be that invested in 1 card again.
Well, the nice thing about it is it's all your attacks at level 3.
That's neat. I think it's better, but that's probably the point, right? We had to broaden the focus but lessen the effect.
Because at this point, you're later in the game.
I just hope a bunch of stuff says this counts as a named card, because otherwise that's just dumb.
Yeah.
Look at this. Why did they go with
Spirit?
Spirit?
Gen's half the stages, though, every turn.
Why did you go with Spirit Fingers for the pose? Why do you do
So
this?
your attacks cost -2 and are focused. and then you search your life deck, discard a pile or banish zone for a named card and place it in your hand. See, now we got the good stuff. Because now we can go to the discard pile and go grab our chops and stuff.
Goodness sake. Search that type of...
But at that point, if you're playing a Namekian deck, you've already won.
Probably. Also, I need to make this clear about this. Giving him Draku's power, but for named cards, is still dumb.
Yeah.
I didn't like it when it was Draku. What made you think I'd like it when it was Piccolo?
Because I heard you like Piccolo.
Don't you exhibit at me, dog. Don't you do that to me. Hey, yo, dog, we heard you like Piccolo, dog. So we thought we would put some Piccolo on, some Goku on your Piccolo.
We heard you like orange Krillin, so we made some orange Krillin for your orange Krillin. I'm like, but this is too much orange Krillin.
That's awful. This is too much. Oh, what? What dumb thing did he get? You told me. Oh, he does have more stuff. Okay. So, Piccolo multiform. Huh. Oh, our vertical level 4 is, again, if you're here with the Namekian deck, you probably have your eyes set on a really different win con. You don't care about these powers. You're just going to zoom past it.
It's like getting to level 4 with frickin' with Slug. You're just like, yeah, I'm just here to shoot back down to go grab a Dragon Ball.
So, okay. You and I were talking about damage buff as being better than reduced cost.
Yeah.
Okay.
This just gives you a regen.
So, what do you think of this one? What do you think if I put remain 1, so a second shot on 2 beam cans, with 1 with each hand, now with 2 hands?
But the problem is, remain means you still have to pay another energy for another 3 attacks.
So is that was the big idea behind having reduced cost to justify this?
I think it was to justify the fact that it was only 3 attack for 3 life for 2 energy for a 3 life attack.
Drawing a card's neat, but unless I draw another card the second use of beam cannon, I don't think it's working out. So again, is this going to be?
It's great for the chop. Like, I feel like you would make this, but you would use these cards, but you would not use them for... You would use the 3 and the 4, maybe.
Yep, probably.
But you would go chop round.
Yes, because the other physicals, he has like an 8-stage physical on one of his other cards. Good stuff. About that, though, I'm starting to think this deck... I want a good Piccolo deck. Of course I do. I've been trying to get back to Piccolo
We've been hand slapping our way.
I've been trying to get back here forever. I've been trying to get back here forever. To get back to have a competent, usable Piccolo deck. But here's what I'm going to say about it. I hope this doesn't become a novelty. That's cool, and then you just go on with your life. You know what I mean? It's getting to feel like it, though. Everything about this says...
Well, and it's like they're running out of ideas for it, and I feel like... Well, it's just like, it's Lord Beerus, and all these, and they have all these new kind of cool ideas, and it's just like, well, okay,
They're neat. I don't know how to say it. Like, I'm not trying to speak ill constantly. I have to, like, is it a neat idea? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it something that we'll see, like, competitive play, which is an ironic statement? But is it something that we'll see serious play? Concerted play? No. Not as it is. I think you'd actually have to intentionally try to break it. You'd have to have a bunch more stuff that makes it crank up higher and higher if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
So final verdict, fun, but never going to see any play as it is. It's awful. I hate to say that. Again, it's like when set 4 came out and we got Broku and we're like, why? Okay, so we're going to go on to Frieza, and I'm going to make you read off Frieza's powers.
Okay. I'm surprised you wanted to do that for me and not Seth. But okay.
Oh, I wish Seth was here, that sack of crud. Though, I don't know what Seth does for a living, but I have this feeling it's intense.
It's nothing great.
Oh. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Seth's shooting the guy right now, right in the face. He's like, you, yes, me.
So, his first one is used when entering combat. So, stop 5 cards of your life deck for any number of non-stab cards and destroy them. For each card destroyed, raise your anger 1. Shuffle the remaining cards into your life deck. So, and then draw a card for his power.
So, it's very wasteful as far as, like, burning through your deck. No question. But
it's an instant level 2.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's hardly anything. Like, if you rig your deck correctly...
Oh, yeah.
No, that's cool, bro. Because think, how many of his cards freeze a card? You don't get.
Well, not only that, but then there's a lot of other cards that are, like, you know,
Okay, I'm gonna do some.
Wall Breaker, and there's new ones.
Because remember, he had the alternate, the promo level 2 that we used, where he just banish a bunch of freeze name cards and jump up a level, but lose that PPV. Remember that? Seth used it for a long time.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, I used it for a long time. Shut my mouth out to get the golden Frieza. So let's do some math here. So Frieza name cards that we can remember off the top. So Frieza Supernova. Let's see. So we're going to just go 3 of them at a time. Frieza Supernova. Frieza's Trap Strike, I think it's called. The physical that gets discarded.
Yeah.
And then we just said it. Oh, Frieza's Arrogance, which is the Omni Block.
Yeah.
And then let's assume King Cold. He technically counts as like a named card. And that's what I can think of off the bat for Frieza named cards.
Yeah, and all it really just says is non-styled cards.
Yeah. So at minimum 9 cards that will be in your deck regardless already count towards this.
Well, and then you'll probably use things like Spheres, and you'll still probably use things like Wall Breakers and stuff like that. I like Wall Breaker. To be fair, I ran it in an energy deck. That's how good Wall Breaker was.
Well, it was standard equipment. On James's belt, 3 copies of Wall Breaker. Yeah, man. That was me to ask.
So that's another, 6 cards right there.
So 30 a deck already, times.
You
So
don't really want to destroy time, but you probably...
hey, if I'm going to jump up a level, yeah, I probably am.
destroy time.
I'll do it.
And maybe at that point, you'd probably run, Visiting the Past, even. Maybe.
That's a good question, because if we get rid of all the set 1 masteries, we probably could have Visiting the Past again. Because that, to my knowledge, is some of those synergies is why it had to go.
Yeah.
Oh, but do you recall something about The Force Awakens? A review, opinion that people took away from it? I'll tell it to you. See if you recall this.
Okay.
Everything set up in The Force Awakens, if we're going to evaluate it as good or bad, will depend entirely on the next movie. Because all of it leans forward, points to the next movie. The answer will be there. Whether this was good depends on if that's good. So this Frieza Level 1's doing that. Everything we just talked about, the mad dash to level 2.
Yeah.
Let's see what it was.
All your text field plus 1 life card. It's always not bad. Even if you're doing physical.
Woo!
Because if you're doing physical, that 1 life does add up.
Look at that power level jump, too.
Destroy the... Yeah.
Woo!
Death, straight death, and then you can destroy the top 2 cards of each player's life deck. Draw the bottom card of your discard pile.
Then. So a good level 2...
Well, you just destroyed 5 cards, and you choose what order they go at the bottom of your to your discard pile in.
Oh my gosh! Oh, see, I didn't know that. I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, you destroy. It just says you just destroy any number of non-style cards.
Oh!
You pick what order they go in because you're destroying them, and you're choosing them 1 at a time.
What? And I didn't know you could just choose to not target non-styled? What? I could just filter it out? It isn't a blind swat and all die?
No.
What? Oh, that's so much better. That's so much better. See, I thought it was phrased like, when entering, destroy the top 5.
No.
Nope. Not that animal at all.
No. It is. I am setting up for something better.
Oh, good lord! And just to get here with...
And that's an entering combat. So if you're the one who initiated... you could potentially get something really good.
Oh, yeah. I'd have a full hand already, and then I would hit him with just nonsense.
Now the problem is you are gunning on that.
True.
So you are building a deck that is 90% non-styled cards.
Totally okay by me. I'll live with it. I have a bunch of... those villains only non-style that are like permeated across the sets?
Yeah.
A bunch of that stuff. So this is a rare bravo, people at Fanzy. You did a, not rare, but you did a good job, and I love this. I love that you were, I thought it was Mill 5, and I said at Mill 5, hope for the best. It was not a good card.
No, it is not Mill the best. Read, was it?
They got a dumb acronym?
Yes. It's like RTW, no, FC. Read the fucking card.
Oh yeah, it's rough, you guys. So I'm just as guilty
Just
of perusing a card. So let me search top 5 of your life deck, read a number of non-style cards. See, that's what I didn't catch.
Yeah.
I thought it was the phrase when entering combat, destroy the top 5 cards of your life deck, and then search. See, that's what I'm talking about. When I hear for each card destroyed, raise your anger. See, that's where I got a little like.
Nope.
Because I'm so
and you
used
don't
to that
have
effect.
to destroy them. So if it's something that you really don't want to destroy,
And you don't even have to.
But the thing is that the way that it's set up, you want to.
It hurts, you guys, because now I figured out that jump from 1 to 2, you can camp here the rest of the game if you wanted.
Oh, don't worry, you want to go to 3. Oh, also let's remember, a lot of the non-style cards are the anger hate and the anger gain cards.
Do you remember? Okay, since you didn't play Score, you don't remember a dumb rump card from Tough Enough, which was all that stuff.
Yeah.
Called A Pair of Goodness. It was a Frieza with the 2 discs. So that card is called. I forgot what it's called in this one. It's an alien only card that lets you throw the energy twice. More cards that need to be in this. Yeah. It rejuves on each shot.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful. And like, dang it, that works wonderfully.
So 3.
Okay.
Is, your tax. Oh, by the way, power creep. There's your power creep.
Oh, by the way, in my mind, that is exactly the power that he had. Because in my opinion, when Resurrection F, his minimum power level was 12 milli walking around. But actually, he was 12 million in the little midget horn Frieza version. Mm-hmm. And then it only went up from there.
Yeah.
So it's close. It's close. It's better than this has been so far.
Your attack steal +1 life card.
Nice.
The power physical attack. Search the top 7 cards of your life deck for a non-style attack card and place it into your hand. And it deals 5 life cards.
I would have so many non-style, like the Android card that's like 4 life already and raises or lowers a player's anger and uses a crit. Like, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made the first non-style character, basically.
Oh my gosh! I think him and Vegeta kind of do this?
Yeah.
So no complaints, folks. If you get to level 3, get there.
Oh, if you could get to level 4, you want to do that. So your attack steal +2 life cards. Power. When you play a non-styled attack, that attack gains remain 1.
So, imagine throwing this card here.
Yep.
With Frieza's Trap Strike.
Yep.
And you ditch it for it.
Oh, you don't even need to.
What are we looking at here? Attack 2 life cards. When you play non-style attack, wow!
And then the power is your MP gains X stages, where X is the number of non-style cards. And then it has the new Desperation.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to tell you. How I've been visually, I've been doing it, like reading it to people. Yeah. Because I've been saying, you could say Desperation, Rejuvenate 3.
Yeah.
I don't say that. I say, if you have no cards left in your hand, Rejuvenate 3.
Yeah.
Because it helps audibly get it.
Yeah.
But, yes. And that's how it's been. So all that self-destructive stuff. This is a rare deck that I would actually legitimately run Unleashed and not feel bad about it. I'd have it in there because it facilitates non-styled and helps you to get them levels hop faster.
Yep. And then you just beat the shit out of somebody.
So a bunch of them event blocks that came out in the last couple of sets end up in here. Omni events, like On the Move and crud, end up in here.
Now, the only problem I have is that power is not worded very well.
Which one?
So it says, so it's use when, so you can only use the power once. So so use when. Yeah. So that makes it better. Now that I think about it, but it was just like, cause it almost sounds like it's a continuous effect almost for the rest of the turn, but it's used when you play. Okay.
And I am very amused that the power has a self-limiting factor. Because
I'm glad. Because that doesn't seem like anything I've seen so far.
Because when I want a 1-turn power up to 10 stages for my opponent, no.
But at the same time, see, what
the
I'm
rejuve
saying
helps
is,
to reduce what you get.
Is
because that's unpleasant.
What I've been seeing this entire time and stuff like that, and I'm surprised I don't see, is that power when you use a non-styled attack, that attack gains remain 1. I'm surprised that that's not continuous.
Oh no!
That's how much I've seen of these.
Well, like how broken did it get?
I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Like that's the sort of thing that because if let's put it this way, if this was Beerus, that's the kind of attack that power he would have gotten. That actually is the type of power that he got through the whole thing. So it's kind of I don't know how to explain it. They push in some fashions and then they pull back in other fashions, which is kind of weird. It's either if you're gonna make everything broken so that way nothing is fun. Because everything is the same. Everything is broken.
That's a fair observation.
But what they do is they make certain things broken and then they pull back on other things.
That's not fun.
And the degree that they pull back on is the differing faction.
I don't know. I think some of the people like
it's good. It's really good.
It's great.
I'm telling you, it's right balance.
It's got a good idea.
That's the thing. It's balanced.
But what you're saying is, how come he's balanced? Some people just ain't.
Yeah, it's like Beerus is not balanced.
No. His level 3 is like the dumbest thing I've seen in a while. That explains why is there a level 4 power on a level 3. Because he level hops down. But that don't justify crud if he's going to spend the whole game on 3.
Oh, it's just weird. It just doesn't.
So something goes on with the development process that you and I are just not privy to. That's all I can say.
There's got to be like somebody there that's like, okay, I want to actually make a game and I want to actually play it and I want to balance it out. And then there's got to be somebody that's just like, this would be a cool concept. Let's roll with it.
Yeah. I am 100% of the belief that there is a guy over there who does that. Who does the? Wouldn't it be cool if?
And they don't try it out and they don't see if it works.
Nope.
Because I feel like both the Piccolo and the Beerus are both products of that idea.
Oh, wouldn't it be cool if
and the problem is one is too overpowered because they didn't really play it, and one is underpowered because they never really played it.
Yep. Holy heck, I wholeheartedly agree because one of these sets...
I feel like the Frieza...
Oh, yeah.
Someone actually took the time to actually kind of play it out.
Or has been thinking about it a long time at least.
Yeah.
Here's my beef, is I think that Mystic Gohan and Vegito are the most rushed MPs the game has ever had. Where there needed oodles more play, way more revisions. Had they done even slightly more balancing, the whole game would be healthier. You think about that. You could release an MP that makes this game sick. Ruin the game. Implode it.
And make people not want to come back.
That happens so much. Alright, so we're going to do Vegeta. And this is another... You don't want me to stay on this level very long, do you?
Well, once again, they're trying to address a problem.
So we're balancing back the other way.
Well, and I think it's either that or it's like they don't want campers, but they don't want people to jump up too fast. It's like, what do you want?
Could you be specific?
Could you figure out what you want to do?
That's a good question. It's where you basically made an imbalance so far back. We've been correcting a correction. That was correcting a correction for so long. We didn't even know what it looked like when it messed up.
Yeah, it's just there's nothing to say. It's basically your standard. Actually, I feel like it's more like a classic one from like the old Panini game.
Well, that's the thing. Me and everybody. Well, actually, me and Ange and I'm trying to think. I think Chris Humphries. We all came to the same conclusion that this is all a nod to Premiere. Everything here is a spiritual successor to Premiere, and that's if it feels like that. It probably do.
I mean, like that's what I said. I'm looking at this Vegeta, and it almost looks like the original Vegeta.
Super plain. I've been playing, by the way, with Villain Vegeta. So more jokes that don't mean nothing to me or you, but more jokes from Retro is as a non-answer. Because remember, they're all raging D-bags over there. Everybody on Retro is a raging D-bag. So raging D-bags treat everything like it's a joke constantly. So they can't be serious for 2 seconds because they're like giant children. So these raging D-bags, if you are raising a legitimate complaint about an MP, will often answer the following and give you a non-answer. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried Villain Vegeta?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was a lame-ish character, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, man, I went back and started playing Villain Vegeta. Did you know I beat Beerus on camera with Villain Vegeta?
You wouldn't be surprised.
It is wonderful.
Well, here's the thing. The MP doesn't really matter as much as you think if you got a good synergetic deck. If you have a really good deck...
Yes.
What I found out is you could swap out the MPs,
yeah,
and it still runs really well.
Yes.
That's what I said. Like, I love that adapt.
The Orange Adept
because,
is that
because it fits so many different things, and if you get the right person in there, it just takes off.
Yeah, I was going to say it's even better. And currently, this is who's in the Orange Adept. Currently,
I'm looking at it, and I can understand it's very. Like, I probably would have played this.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what's his name? Ryan and Seth want to do this one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they want to do. Now, Ryan's a hard sell.
That's right. Ryan is nothing but Vegeta.
That is kind of funny.
Where was he when Orange Vegeta was the meta?
I don't know. Playing Call of Duty, never leaving his house. So I love the level 2. I think it doesn't need any changes. I think like the level 1, it's fine. The anger gain slows down a bit and actually lowers the number of cards in your discard pile, which actually helps to balance out later stuff.
Well, and actually it's really good for that Orange Adept deck. Because you just leveled up. You have a drill in there that gives all of your styled attacks +1 anger.
You've no idea how good that is.
You just rejuvened it, basically, if you hit with it.
It's wonderful.
And a lot of those cards that help you rejuvenate a lot of those drills because they have the hit effects of rejuvenating the drills or raising your anger. So, like, I love it. You know, I don't feel like it's unfair either. Yes, it's going to be like 6 stages of damage for his basic attack, but like it is focused. I don't know if like.
Would you keep it focused?
I don't know. I haven't really played with focus, so I don't know how often it becomes a make or break thing. You know?
I'll give you some insight. So playing this one a bunch of times over this last month. It's awesome. It is the most destructive ability I've ever had. Give you an example. Andrew abuses time, right? He uses it and recurs it like a lot. So
being able to shut it down is really good.
In one game, I did that. I punched through it and it dealt a critical damage to him as far as like knocking him down to 0. We got to end the combat without like him raining death on me the whole time. It was amazing. So I'll just say from experience, throwing it out there, it's more powerful than
it stops abuse of things.
It do. And
I feel like time is one of those powerful cards, but I feel like there are people that choose to try to abuse it.
And that's why I'm not a fan of the way things got out of hand, and I think I like focus more than I thought I would, because it's still perfectly stoppable with a regular block.
Yeah.
That's why I'm okay with it. It doesn't create unstoppable attacks, it's just like, stop. Also the shuffle too, it is a great limiter.
Yep.
Because you will find out absolutely the game's greatest, toughest, most amazing cards don't have anger on them. They don't mention anger. Like the most effective cards in the game don't mention it.
I don't think you've ever played my orange deck.
I'm talking about abusable cards.
I know.
So no, you can't target a leash, you can't target a sphere. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I mean, like he's set up for because he's a Vegeta deck. He is set up for anger. He's set up to MVP out. That's the thing.
Yeah, and you can't even
that's
grab
why
a dig
I hate
with,
they do that. Where like they're
I think it's a neat factor. I just think that
I think it is too. I think it's a really good one.
It limits it to really utilitarian cards. No game swinging cards are going to come back. So neat.
I mean, yeah. I like it personally in the orange deck because that's basically 90% of my deck.
We said that's who's doing the orange adept right now. I have murdered people so hard. I had 12-stage haymakers where the base was 0.
Yeah.
Whereas like I'm at 0. It's fine.
It's fine. AT's still 4.
Yeah.
Especially with this power creep and whatnot, that drill has become like the most underappreciated MVP of drill. Yeah, where it's just your AT is always 4. It's like, well, it's not often that you're over 4. Unless you get them down to 0.
And you think about it, even getting max is only 2 more stages.
Yeah.
So did you miss out? Not really.
Not really. I'd rather be at 0 stages and still have 4 than at full stages and getting 6.
At a max. In the best case scenario.
But you think of it this way, he gets an extra 2 stages anyways from the mastery and his ability, so did you really miss out on those 2 stages?
I've enjoyed it immensely. Throwing that out there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can't complain.
Okay, so 3.
Oh, also, by the way, one more factor of balance on 2. It's a flat stage physical, so it's not an AT, so you know you're not going to bully somebody with a massive AT.
No. But you are going to get the +1 stage.
Yay.
So it is a 6 stage.
Oh, by the way, remember I told you about how I want a limiting factor in the cards to have self-limiting functionality? He has one on this.
Yeah.
So, does he rejuve 3? No. He has a when you reach this level, so that's neat. So if you de-level, you still get it.
When you reach this level, shuffle 3 cards with anger in the text box from your discard pile into your life deck. I like that. And shuffle. Shuffling makes all the difference in the world. Your attack still +2 stages. Amazing.
Oh, yes. Now look at this.
With the attack with anger in the text box and place it into your hand.
Do you know how many times I've dealt a death blow?
Oh, I can imagine. I'm just looking at I'm thinking about the deck list in my head.
I've seen so many final hits, like summon that card back in my hand, boom, it's over! Righteous knockout hits at the end of these things. It was a wonderful. So, yeah, man, I have no complaints on this one.
I feel like this is a balanced MP.
For the first time, huh? You know what I mean? Like, we've seen some broken shoot today. And this is better.
Like, it's not over the top, but it's enough to make gameplay interesting and intriguing, and you can build around it very easily. Like, the Frieza's the same way, I feel like, too. I feel like the two of them could go head-to-head and be comparable. Very comparable.
Yeah. Isn't that odd? Where, for once, we had these two characters who could actually interact and have interesting fights.
I feel like this and the Piccolo could, too. I think it'd be a little more one-sided to the Vegeta than the Piccolo. But I feel like the Piccolo would give the Vegeta a really good run of money either for Dragon Balling out or leveling out, which is saying something because this Vegeta seems to be very, very made for orange.
It is
orange
odd.
And green. I do still see green. I still see some red too because actually red, I can see it in red. I can see it in a lot of different colors. I can even see it in black being an anti-anger deck. Of just lowering your opponent's anger and grabbing all the lowering anger because it just says anger.
Yep.
Anyway, say whether it's up or down. Yep.
That idea, by the way, the idea that it's not specific. Oh, I've been thinking about that since I first saw this card, and I've been using it just like you think I have been. I've been using all kinds of different. Is that lower? It sure do. So I like this card. I think it was well made. I think
the whole set is. Cause I'm already looking at 4. Number 4.
What was number 4?
So when you reach this level, shuffle up to 4 cards with anger from the deck box to the discard pile to the bottom of your life deck.
Now I remember. So remember we talked again about that. So sure, it's got the obvious like longevity idea for trying to like have more cards in your deck. Great. Everybody does that. What else you got for me?
Your attack deal +2 stages, and your opponent's attack deal. Oh, that was the other. Deals -2 stages. That was the other thing about the 2 is your opponent's attacks deal -1 stage.
So you know how Joey DiCarlo hates Vegeta, right?
Yeah.
He has like a real like the way I hate the Dennis Bros.
Yeah.
He hates these. Though I wondered I gotta derail this for 2 seconds. I don't understand why everybody thinks we have to think the Dennis Bros are funny jester men who just get away with saying any outrageous things. Like, why? But anyway, he has that kind of open hatred for Vegeta. Have you seen what's been going on in the manga? Did you see what happened? I call this ultra. I just assume it's crazy, like ultra ego. So, by the way, the deck we've been discussing, it already exists.
Yes. Oh, we might have to get a game in.
You'll enjoy it. It's got all you stink on it. So, I've gotten to level 4 many times because the deck will consistently get there.
It wants to.
And then, yeah.
My hello.
So this... I love that this sets them up for that kill shot.
Kill shot with that extra
skip,
one. And boom! And they skip. Or you could... Well, no, it skips. It doesn't make them pass. It would be greater if
it was a combat ender?
Yeah. Because you could use it as a combat ender if you needed to. But, it's still really good.
I love everything about it. It's not broken. It's effective. It's clear. I appreciate this one a lot.
It finishes the game.
It tends to!
Well, because they can't respond onto it.
Nope.
You're like, I'm at 4 anger. Okay, I will make you skip your next action, and I will grab this thing that has anger on it, and I will win.
I'm gonna tell you an embarrassing story. It's because it makes me look like a lame-o, like a giant flaming D-bag. You think I was from the retro page? All right, I'll stop. But so I'm fighting little Liz.
Yeah, because it's attack cards. I was gonna say, it just says anger. No, it's just combat cards. So yeah, no, that's good.
So I was fighting poor little Liz a long time ago. Liz had me solid. Man, I'm dead. Like, she's gonna hit me one more time and this son of a gun's over. I played 2 gut kicks in a row to MPPV on level 4 with Goku. And it's the only reason I survived is I made her skip. Well, I was dead. No, look, it was game over, brother. And that is what happened with that one. So when we say skip, like, oh, I'm aware that it can swing a whole game with one skip. and that's the end of the Vegeta stack. Verdict is it's very good. That is way more balanced out the gate. Like, it's a more resolved idea, if you remember your art terms, than we're used to seeing. Now, if you guys have been watching or listening this whole time, I think you guys know where we're headed next, and you know the significance. So, James played Krellin for many a year, and we are going to look at the new Krellin stack, and we're going to show him, oh, broken? You don't know what broken is. I just think it's silly, a lot of what he does. So he actually, remember we talked about cards on guys? What's his name? What did we say? It was Beerus. He has a name card on his level 3.
Yeah, it's just like, that's all Krellin is.
Did you know Krellin has one of the Black Style masteries? He has manipulative on him.
Yeah.
Why do you have, I'm going to ask him, why do you have the mastery on your guy? Sure, it narrows it by saying energy attack, has to be an energy attack card. It can't be like, something else. Yeah.
And it only prevents damage, so if it can't be prevented,
one thing I said, fudge all that.
Yeah.
Toss all that out. There's one power on this that's actually the most important thing on it. It's his buff. His buff means Destructo Disc is now a guaranteed crit regardless. Yep. That's what I said, forget about this. I don't even know what else he does. It doesn't matter. It's that crit! But what does he do?
So his energy attacks get +1. So that's how he crits.
So he just has a Raise Your Anger 2 move?
Yeah, so, basically his power is you play an energy attack from your hand to prevent all damage from the attack. Which raises your anger 2 if you play the style energy. If you played a styled card. So when you played the energy attack from your hand, if it was styled, you get 2 anger.
Oh,
and then you use a critical
gosh! I didn't realize all that had to line up like that, but that's incredible!
Yeah.
So that's fine. Save your Destructo Disc for your own action, because you're going to use it.
Yeah.
And then use your energy blocks to block. So basically some of your blocks are energy attacks.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Remember we talked about how we said sets 1 through 3 are going to be with the inspiration?
Yep.
Dense Ball. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's also a block for energy, but you can chuck it for this. So I think it's okay. I think it is strong.
It's very strong. I still feel like the level 1 is better.
I think
the original one.
When it shoots through people who turn off prevention, you'll realize it's not the best.
Well, it's one of those, like, it's not bad. I feel like, though, playing an energy attack to gain 2 anger, which I would get if I played it, to prevent all attacks and then using a critical, that's fine. I would rather ditch a card to gain 2 anger, to draw 2 cards, draw 2 cards, discard either 1 card or 2 cards, to then get 2 anger.
It seems like just a better... Let's put it this way. It's comparable, at the very least.
It's very comparable. Like, you're still ditching a card either way, but one of them gets you more cards.
I'm okay with more actions. We talked about, what do they say? Commodities of action? Which is ridiculous. So we're on to level 2. Some elements are going to stay. And take a look what got replaced.
Yeah, so basically... You still get the life card, and then you could either stop stop a physical or energy attack, which
an army already.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, basically, he just dodges because he runs and hides.
That would be fine by me.
Raise or lower player's anger 1 level. And then you may discard a card from your hand to draw a card. If you discard a styled card, use critical damage effect. This gets you the drills or setups out of your hand that are clogging it up to get that extra card.
Jeez, yeah.
It's a good 2.
Oh, it's good hand filtering. Discard to draw? Heck yeah.
Well, the fact that you stop a physical or energy attack, then you raise or lower a player's anger by 1. Then you can draw a card, discard a card from your hand to draw a card. And then if you discarded a card with a styled card, then you use a critical effect.
Yeah, it's thankfully I like that everything here is very specific. Because if you said any card, no. Too much. Because you could just draw a dead card like a Dragon Ball and drop it and just, hit them. No. Fudge, no.
Doesn't matter. You draw a drill, you drop the drill because the drill is dead for you in right now, and then you use a critical.
Speaking of that, there is a bunch of cards that I don't know if I showed you the new orange that popped up. Mm-hmm. The new orange makes me think, how how many cards you need to start putting in your deck, which you shouldn't be using, which are a bunch of 1 through 3 cards that pull drills back from your discard pile that you weren't using? Like that one physical that says search the top 4, put it into play. Wow, all this stuff we weren't using. So, strong, effective, nothing really wrong with it. Mm-hmm. 3 is Krillin Lawman. Clearly I didn't watch Resurrection F, the actual 20-some episodes, because I don't remember any of this. I got nothing.
No, it's actually from the movie, too.
No.
Yeah, it's actually the movie. And then the joke is that the voice actor for Krillin...
Good old Sonny Strait.
Well, even in the Japanese.
What? What?
Because he's Luffy's voice, I believe. I believe it's Luffy.
That's nuts.
In One Piece. So his ringtone on his cell phone is the original opening for One Piece.
Yeah. What? I didn't pay attention to nothing. Wow, look at Krillin with 900,000 power level. It is neat.
Yeah. So, like we said, he jumps up the fastest.
Proportionally, percentage-wise?
Proportionally, yeah,
percentage-wise. It don't make no sense.
No, Goku doesn't even compare. That's the crazy part.
Not until he's like Super Saiyan Red or Blue.
No, I mean proportionally wise. The power level increase that goes on in the series. Krillin jumps the biggest percentage jump leaps than any other character.
I wish Toriyama gave more of a shoot so that he could address this.
Well, no, the whole point is because it's to show that even that we could keep up with it if we try hard enough.
I hate that.
Because he's the only... Well, he's the only human. He is the strongest human.
I love it, but I also hate it. I'm saying is I love that it exists at all, but I just wish it got addressed at some point.
The fact that Krillin's the strongest human?
No. I never bought into that. So, what are we doing here? We've got 2 life cards. Power.
Shuffle your...
He has 2 powers?
Yeah, he has 2 powers. Shuffle up to 2 energy combat cards from your discard pile into your deck to draw a card. Nice. Then the other is defense. Play an energy attack from your hand to prevent all damage from an attack.
Okay, with you.
Okay. Then you may use this power a second time this combat.
Oh, no! Okay, so the same power is below, so that's fine. I actually don't mind that terribly. But that draw, brother, I don't know how to feel about that. I rejuve to draw?
Then, the Krillin back in action is your attack steal plus 2 life cards. Suit your life deck for an energy combat card and place it into your hand. So that's his first power. His second power is to play an energy attack from your hand to stop a physical or energy attack. And then you rejuvenate 1, then you may use it a second time.
Okay, I'm glad that they got things a little more... Okay, so it's an Omni, but you still have to play the energy, which is fine. And he doesn't have, infinite stages, which is good. I'm actually pretty pleased for that. But, hey, Chihuahua, 2 of them!
I still don't know which one I like better, though.
You mean which stack you'd rather use?
Mm-hmm.
I think you'd probably go with this level 4, because none of his previous level 4s are this good.
His other level 4, though, the other one that they did, actually wasn't that bad.
Oh, wait a minute. The one where he has hair, right? Like the big poofy hair from the end of Z?
I think so.
Because what's his name? Andrew, when they used to do Unleashed with all the dumb effects, it would he'd get to level 4 a lot.
Yeah.
So what set is that in? It's not Celestial Games. What set is that out of? Do I not have it sitting here?
It was. I got it here. So it is Victorious Krillin. It's whenever setup enters play under your control, you gain 2 stages. Whenever setup or drill enters play under your control during combat, rejuvenate 1 and as top card of your opponent's. But it was
2 energy shots. 2, 5, remain 1, search or setup or drill and play it.
And I feel like that one's the better one. In my opinion. It's not like that's a more defensive one.
Well,
definitely, for sure. This one will kill somebody. And not only that, but if you get your drills out, you just win.
Funny story, I died to that energy attack more than anything I'm fighting Krillin ever.
Oh, I know.
That 2 blasted
the one that killed you.
Up and dead, up and down. They got me. So, wonderfully effective. I think he's going to mix and match with his previous stack very readily. Very little effort, and everything's good. We got no complaints here. It's another...
I think it's a defensive Krillin, which is interesting because we haven't really played a defensive Krillin ever.
It's been a minute, but it's actually a good thing to have options because you say, okay, my deck consistently gets to this level, so if I'm going to plan to sit on this level for a while, and depending what goes on, I guess there's a joke here with Goku Arrives is the title of this one because the joke was, what's Dragon Ball Z? Mostly waiting for Goku.
Yep.
Hey. So that it concludes our Krillin. Krillin was great. He's fine. He's perfectly workable. Nothing broken. Nothing dumb. Well, we sometimes we get excited and it might sound like we're really dumping on it or maybe have a beef. We don't. We just find that we're excited by effective stuff. If it's broken, you actually find us more upset.
Yeah, and like I said, I find that it's an interesting way to play Krillin. I'm really excited that there's more than one way to play Krillin. Personally, it doesn't really go towards my taste of playing Krillin.
But it's nice that it exists.
But it's nice. Like that could be like almost a red energy Krillin, which was a thing at one point for like 2 seconds, I think. But like you
red
can,
Krillin?
Yeah,
I thought one or two.
It was. The idea is that it can be there, and it opens up more possibilities from outside of his normal, just usually black and orange. And you can even do like a blue energy Krillin.
I have been killed many times.
Off the time.
I have been killed many times. He's very dependable.
Yeah. So, I think it's a good stack. It's a very good stack. I feel like it's a great stack. So
it's pretty good. Oh, we were talking about spiritual successors.
Okay.
So,
yes. 1 second. I want to point out one thing. So, one last thing. The reason why it seems like we don't think about it as much is because it's not as special or spectacular as the other ones. And the problem is, in a game like this, the more normal you are and the more not crazy you are, the more you don't stand out.
I suppose.
And
if you have a flavor.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he has a flavor. It's a very good flavor. It's not the same flavor as Beerus. It's not the same flavor as Goku. It's not the same flavor as Vegeta. It's,
You know what? Come to think of it, yeah. What flavor is it? I think it's that Krillin requires more strategy than most, from what we've seen. Yeah. Everyone else can just throw themselves into the situation.
Yeah. Because Krillin, you are literally giving up your attacks as defenses.
So you have to play smarter than harder. And
because, maybe you need to use that attack to push through a little bit more. But maybe if you don't block it, you don't get to play the destructor disc that's going to kill somebody. So, and there's more different sets for the Krillins. And I think that that's the other reason why, too, is that you have more of a variety of options and a wide range of things to go with it.
Agreed. It was way more...
He's more mix and matchable, is what I think it comes to, than some of the others.
Straight out, there's so many stacks that don't do that.
Yeah.
Even
like the new Vegeta. I don't see it mixing well with some of the other Vegetas. I don't see the Gokus mixing around. You can't mix the Ally and the Drillku together.
No, they were their own animals.
But
I told you I mixed the number one Krillin with all the Krillin builds that I play because I still feel like it's the best Krillin. I still mix like some of the newer ones in. I'll probably mix a couple of these new ones in if I see that they're really going to be well at that stage in the game.
Well, we were talking about that. Probably the level 3. It's a really good level 3.
It's a pretty good level 3.
And will you see level 3? Most games.
Mm-hmm. Easily.
Because most...
It's like the most important ones in this are usually your level 2 and your level 3 because those are the ones that you will sit at for the most part. But okay, so...
just to remind you, spiritual successors.
Yes.
Dumbest thing ever.
Yes.
So, it's, what if I told you, again, we're talking about stacks, we're just going to redo Goku Premier, but we're just going to fix him.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going to be a competitive version of himself. That's all they did. But in a good way! So me and Andrew were looking through these, and Andrew's usually pretty poo-poo. He poo-poos anything about this game.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Like, he can poo-poo. Yes, I think that word's funny, so if anybody listening, yeah, I do. This was one of the few ones he did not. He looked and said, that's just fun. That's just a better version of itself.
Yeah.
So you cannot win by PvP. Let's see.
If you advance with this level's card effect.
Which is... Thank you. Thank you for thinking of that.
And your drills are not discarded when advancing from this level.
Totally okay. Totally okay. Hey, Masteries on Dudes is Orange Adaptive.
Yep.
Is on a guy now.
Well, from this level. So, like, if you go to the other levels, you will lose them. But
and he has, I think we said this one, he has the Ally Gohan searching thing, but just targets drills, I believe, is his thing. So, use entering combat, search your life deck for a style of non-continuous drill placed in play. If you control 3 or more drills, advance. Yep. He is basically the Ally Gohan, but for drills. Completely reasonable power because we know the game could sustain it already.
Yeah.
Just target a different thing. I am okay with that. I'd love to build another giant orange Drillku.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I feel like there's a lot of different ways of doing it now, and there's a lot more different masteries where you don't have to worry about it. Like, what that does is it opens up a lot of the masteries that don't search out drills to be usable. Because, we look at, like, he shows me all the new masteries all the time, and a lot of the time, they're cool and all. But, the reason why people still go for the first 2 is because... Or the third one. The third one was stupid broken, and there's a reason why it's gone.
Retribution should never have existed, guys.
But, like, the second one searches. Yep. The first one makes it to where you don't lose them. And those are strong enough in and of themselves. It doesn't matter that they get the stages.
I like that they're complementary, like, ideas of the same thing. Mm-hmm. They both interact with your drills, but differently.
Yes.
So I appreciate that, because it affects your build.
Yes, it really does.
You're like, what am I going to do? I need drill searchers because it doesn't search them.
Like, in Adaptive, you ran, like, maybe 1 of each drill, because you didn't have to worry about them being destroyed.
They don't go
and, like, Adept, you run, like, 2 or 3 of some drills, but not as many as others, because they're so key to what you're doing. But you can rejuvenate them off leveling up.
So it straight needs you to build the deck ratios get built around it. The actual, like, drills themselves don't get... let me put it this way. A lot of Adaptive are the same as Adept. But we're just saying is you build different ratios. Imagine if you're Goku and you just lug your drills wherever you go, you're not concerned. How many drill searcher cards you get to drop out because you don't need it?
You still keep a lot of them, though, because they give you anger.
A handful, sure. But
you don't do it as much as you would with the Adept.
Nope. So, in fact, take a look at level 2.
Yeah. And so, when you reach this level, search your life deck for a style drill and place it into play. So you've kept all your other drills, and now you added another drill.
So, at minimum, you're here with 4.
Yeah. Unless you did it the hard way. At which point, you have 2. Or 1. Sorry, 1.
Jeez.
But you're guaranteed to at least have 1.
So look at this, though. Free energy, first of all. And, by the way, free for 4. That's pretty good.
And it has a desperation, so you save it for the end.
Yeah?
You rejuvenate a style drill from either your discard pile or banish them. That's the important one.
I think so, too. Because free means we're going to get it shot off, so even if it's very late and I've already taken a beating, you're going to get this shot off. Also, if we're saying late, it means it has a higher likelihood to hit because their hand's probably empty.
Yep.
So there's a lot going on
and
here.
The hit on it is raise or lower a player's anger too.
See, I feel
It's
like
powerful.
if they did the hybrid effects, I think they wouldn't have where it's raise or lower. I don't think that they would have as much problem with the anger.
Well, that's
as
something
I
to
think
think
they
about.
are.
If a lot of them said raise or lower, that's interesting. I think they actually
Because
could've
at that
been-
point, you have to make a choice depending on where you are in the combat.
that's interesting
or
to
in
even
the
think
gameplay.
about. If a bunch of my cards were like, I want to trade my level speed for slowing my enemy down, I probably would.
Mm-hmm.
Like, take this random card you're holding right here. If it said lower, I probably would.
Yeah, because it's
I-
only one.
Yeah, I don't care enough to.
Well, and then it's to place a style drill into play if you hit with it. So odds are you don't want to level up.
Nope.
Or you do, and then you want to put it in play afterwards. But like I said, it all depends on the situation.
And now we realize, there's a little bit of genius on this card, by the way. Want to
Yeah.
see? Everything here indicates late in the combat.
Yep.
I am okay with that. I like that they dictated it to be early instead of late. I love that it doesn't give you hardly anything in comparison if you use it early. I just think it probably should have costed one stage.
I think if it cost one stage, it wouldn't have as much motivation for it to be late in the game.
I suppose. I guess if you really want one circumstance to use it under, yeah, that's how you do it.
I mean, I think maybe one stage wouldn't be bad.
But free does mean it's really going to get used in the one circumstance.
Yeah, which is at the end.
Also, if you got here by the drill level up thing, you've already lost NPVV, so getting 2 anger doesn't mean hardly anything anymore. So that's fine. I'm okay
Yes
with
and
that.
no. You still want to kind of level up.
Definitely.
So here's the thing. You want to level up because as you go up, your power levels are higher, and usually your abilities are better. So you're able to beat over people a little bit easier.
Oh, I'm totally okay with it, but what I mean is, like,
I know what you
offering
mean,
free
though,
anger,
too. Yeah.
is like, it doesn't matter now. You
Yeah.
can level up. It's like fighting a Saiyan empowered deck.
Yep.
It's so inevitable that it might as well, but you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
like, meh. So a good card. You were 100% right. As long as it stays desperation, no cost, and its other effects, it will stay usable, but under very specific circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
You won't see it doing anything silly very often.
So it's 3. Your drills are not discarded when advancing from this level. So when you go to 4, you will have all your drills. Now you've lost all your drills.
Now that's,
Getting to
let
this
me
level.
go back and let's carefully read this because we read Vegito wrong. He has these exact same powers.
Yeah.
So let's see. When advancing from this level, so you kept your 1 to 2.
Yep.
And you got got another style when you got there, so theoretically you have 4. So let's see. What's to say your drills discarded when advanced? Yeah, you're right. 2 to 3, you lose them.
Yep.
3 and up, it goes. Okay.
Yep.
See, Vegito has that. We let him keep his drills, and
this is where, like, if you're playing an orange, you want to do orange beat down because you won't lose them, and then you'll level up.
Well, because I don't know if you know, they brought back his super level 4, so it doesn't go matter.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like,
Oh, another free energy, huh?
yeah. Search your life deck for a drill and place it into play. Desperation. You may search your discard pile instead. 5 life. Now, I like it's either or.
Oh yeah.
It's not and or. It's one or the other.
Oh yeah. I appreciate that when you say instead, not both, because then we get into dumb stuff.
Yeah.
But speaking of this might be my favorite. The parts that are like notably like strong, only if you do it as your last move.
Yep. And it's a hit, rejuvenate 2 style drills from your discard pile, or desperation. You may search your banish zone instead.
Absolutely love it. I love that when my opponents who just love their I banish your drill, they love that. They love doing that.
Well, that's why they made cards that kind of get around it. Actually, and I'm surprised that you don't have them.
I'm open to suggestions. There's a couple cards that aren't here for
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for you though.
Yes.
On this one, would you feel yourself getting stuck here a lot?
In an orange deck,
It feels like I would. I feels like I would get stuck here a lot.
if I was playing an orange deck, no. If I
Everything
was
else.
playing another deck, I could see it maybe happening.
Hmm.
Well, orange just has so much more anger gain than any other deck.
Potentially speaking, consistency is the word here, and we're going to say
And
consistency.
consistently, they have the ability to do it.
So, no, theoretically, you shouldn't get stuck here pretty readily. But I'm saying, like, I feel like me, if I was building this, I get stuck here a lot. But we're going to move on to level 4, and if I remember correctly...
It's not a bad place to get stuck, though.
Oh, no.
It has so much more rejuvenation so that you won't run out of stuff to do.
Now, level 4 here is great because of all the dumb shoot that it does. Also, by the way, did I tell you? More named cards on dudes? Do you recognize that move from somewhere?
Yes.
I pack a Kamehameha right here. Also, it's life cards, not stages.
Yep.
So I can just lay down. Ah! I like.
So
this.
you have all your drills from level 3 going into 4. You rejuvenate up to 5 from your discard pile and or banish zone.
Jeez.
And you have an energy attack with desperation of rejuvenate 3, and you just blow up everything.
And it's free because they knew how it has to work. It has to occur late when you might be stage locked, and that's how it will work. And just for your folks listening, I had a deep love of a Saiyan Drill Coup, which I love that deck with all my little heart, and I always wanted to bring it back, and I get to do that at some point in the near future.
Well, I can help you if you want to.
Yeah, I can't wait. Because I want to. I want to see it back. So we have no complaints here. We think it's very good. We actually think it's even a touch thematic, which is nice because Super Saiyan Goku from Premiere, it was okay. He just didn't do anything special.
No.
I know the theme was supposed to be he summons 5 drills, and the summons 5 drills like you do a couple of rounds of build-up, and then you Kamehameha and get them. But that's slow.
It's very slow.
And they can just stop it.
Yes.
So how about a free energy that does this massive swing that you intentionally wait until the last and then throw it at them? Threaten them the whole combat waiting on it. So we got no complaints. We like the Goku an awful lot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was, like we said, it's just Premier Goku, just beefy. We are going to go through these next ones, I believe, rather quickly because I think there's only like 1 or 2 cards per thing. If we're all out of MPs, I think we are. No, wait a minute. Who had to go? Or what was left to look at? Goku arrives. Oh, we're going to go quick here because it's just masteries.
Okay.
So that's neat because we're going to play some other stuff, right? All this talk about this silly game. We're doing Red Relentless mastery. I think I'm going to put Jason Voorhees on my proxy version. Because I like that stuff. You listening, Shane Reynolds? It's for you, baby! Alright, so it's okay. I don't know. Do you think a style physical buff is anything for one stage?
There's a lot for red, though. There's a lot of red physicals. And you know, as someone who played Adept, like, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's Adept.
You know why this
It's one of those that goes there. But you can, when you perform an attack, banish the top card of your life deck to make that attack focus. If you banish the style card, raise your anger one. That's really good. Especially dealing an extra damage on that is great.
Okay.
And then the rejuvenate's actually pretty good too.
I think I just saw the future for like a second there.
Yep.
You ready for this?
Yep.
I think they're gonna. Do you realize nothing's synergized with Ascension but Ascension? Do you remember that banish the top thing?
Yeah.
Only like nothing synergized with it.
Yeah.
At all since then. This
Yeah.
would be the first thing. So, okay,
Yeah.
that was neat. The other thing is, I think I see...
Now the problem is it only makes one of your attacks focus. But, you know, that's not something that you would do very often.
No, and considering how many characters, like, again, let's use Vegeta as an example. Let's say you went with Red Physical beats Vegeta. Just fine. Completely.
Yeah.
Turn his other attacks into ridiculous.
Yeah.
And remember, perform an attack. Technically, you can do it with an energy.
Yeah.
If you really want.
Yep.
So, I think it's great. Also, we think it's, what's that word? CJ, by the way. I don't know if I told you this. CJ, when he saw this, he went, meh.
You see, here's the thing. Adding one stage doesn't sound like a lot.
It will matter.
Adding one stage to 4 different attacks. or 3 attacks. Maybe 4 if you can draw a card.
That's the kicker. It was never the one-hit knockout with this.
It's you got to look at the long-term game. Actually, that's why I'm looking at this, and I'm like, well, you're missing your attack drills that just pump up your stuff by like 2 stages, 3 stages, 4 stages. Because you know, little bits always add up over time.
You don't know, but realistically speaking, yeah, it was the equivalent of another attack you hit him with. Do you know what I mean? Like you added plus 1 to 4.
Yeah, so if you add plus 1 to 3, it's 3. If your name, you know, like let's say one of your attacks on your MP is considered to be a styled attack, because I think they did that for someone. I don't remember who. I feel like they did. If they haven't did that yet, hey, there you go. Oh, Gohan, wasn't it? Gohan.
Wait, what was his power?
Wasn't like young Gohan? All of his stuff was considered to be styled.
Oh yeah. Oh, Awakening Gohan, Teen Gohan. Yeah, everything he throws is styled.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Dang, that's neat. Oh, but what do you think of this one?
It's also his abilities, I think. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, snag that. I don't know what to think about. Yeah, style physical. He turns everything into a styled. That's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I was going to ask you. So I personally love anger resource decks. I think that mode of deck needed to stick around a little bit longer. Lower your anger by any amount. Rejuvenate X. X is the amount of anger you lowered. So it's not your current anger, it's how much did you lower. There's that one drill I've been using in Red Broly, the one that says, if something lowers my anger, make a mill.
Yeah.
So I would love to do both them things. Though this deck doesn't make a ton of anger, so you'd have to be getting it from other sources.
Yeah, and it happens. But, like, the right cards in general typically get a lot of anger, so...
Well, here's to hoping. So I'll give this one like a B+.
I don't think it's bad. I think a lot of it is...
Maybe we haven't seen the card pool that goes with it.
Yeah, and I also don't think it's one of those two where it's like, it really comes down to who you choose and what you do with it. Because I feel like it does have potential. I feel like it actually does.
So, Red Relentless is A-OK. It's just, like we said, it might be a little bit before we see its full ability. There's something there, but we shall see. If there's suddenly a ton of from the top of your deck stuff, you know, banish from the top, like that supports that, then yeah. The only kicker is try not to just go back and play more Red Ascension, right? Like if suddenly there's a bunch of support for that. I'm going to have you look at Saiyan Defiant, because I want you to see this nonsense. Really? Which one?
You're missing the... whatchamacallit stack from the last set.
From Awakening?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought I had a full set of those.
Huh.
I don't remember this.
That's interesting.
I'll have to look through my stuff, because I'm pretty sure I do. So you tax that +1 life card. Always solid. Like I said, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it puts a lot of things in the range.
I can't say this enough. If you go back
and even like doing the red with if you're playing an energy deck or an energy person.
Oh, we talked about
adding that one stage then prevents your opponent from either hitting you as hard or shooting energies back as easily.
Speaking of this, in the Ginyu, I do so much stage damage with life cards being the focus that I've stage locked people without ever hitting their stages.
Yeah.
Like for needing hitting an AT stage damage. No. I just have lots of buffs that add stages.
See, that's a good example of it. So like I said, you basically took like three one stage attacks from them, or a 2-stage attack. Two energy attack, or so that like you could potentially take someone's Destructor Disc. Isn't it Destructor Disc 3, I think?
Base is 4.
No, I meant stage-wise.
Oh, Destructor Disc I think is 2?
2? So, like, if they're low enough, you could deny them a Destructor Disc just by having that 2 extra stages over 2 different cards. You can put more things on the pressure on the people. So that's why I said don't knock the stage damage.
No, it feels small, but trust me, once you get in practice, it will. Now the +1 life card, I have an observation for you.
Yeah.
Are you aware of how many early game Saiyan style cards did 4 life cards?
Yeah.
Too many, actually.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, play Nappa. Try to make Nappa good. So
son of a gun. I'm thinking like, how many energy sets 4 life cards besides having a fantastic effect had no crit capability?
Yep.
Ta-da! Like say an aerial assault has this wonderful effect, 3 endurance, all this stuff. You can't crit nobody.
Nope.
And here we are. So I am a big fan of that. So what's the power here?
So prevent all damage from an attack if you have 1 or less cards in your hand. Raise the lower player's anger 1.
Okay. So a block on the mastery, so you get to be a little more foolhardy.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Powers, discard 2 cards from your hand, search your life deck for a styled card, and place it into your hand.
Wow, okay. Discard 2 cards from your hand, search your life deck for a styled desperation card, and place it in your hand.
Oh, desperation card, okay. Sorry.
How do you feel about that? I don't like it. Unless there's a bunch of cards in Saiyan that I don't remember have fantastic when discarded effects.
Well, there's also some that would be like... There's a little bit of rejuvenation in Saiyan. What it really comes down to is how good are the desperation stuff?
Presumably amazing.
See, and so, like, let's say you had a card that you played and then you have 2 blocks and they passed and you think that they're just basically done or something like that. I'm just gonna ditch 2 cards to grab this big beater and I'm just gonna lay down the law.
There's a couple of cards, come to think of it. I think it's Saiyan Barricade. It's the one where Trunks is, I could think in front of Vegeta doing this. And it's the one when pitched goes back to your deck. And then there's the drill, say the inspection drill, that when discarded lets you draw. So there's a couple of things.
There's a couple things.
I don't know. I think that unless desperation cards are amazing, it's not very good.
Like I said, it all comes down to the desperation cards. Because like if they're really good, it's basically like ditching your hand to lay your Johnson on the table.
Or you better all duck. I'm about to turn left. Unless, like we said, we'll actually give it dual ratings. We'll say that Saiyan Defiant Mastery is either an A level mastery, depending on if Desperation's great, or it's a C or C minus if they're not. That's it. I'm sorry to say. Oh, I needed your opinion on this. Blue Unity Mastery, I think, if we say it's kind of built around Ginyu, and it's supposed to... Remember how we said everything says Ginyu's allies can make... Ginyu Force allies can make actions? What do you do about everybody else?
Okay.
So I was going to ask you, if you were looking at Blue Tag, are you sure you're still looking at Blue Tag? Because you can still get them out there. It requires a little bit more action on your part.
Depends. Are you running allies to get continuous effects, or are you running allies to get attacks?
Let's
see, that's what it comes down to. So this is great if you're trying to get allies that do attacks.
Yeah.
The other one's great if you need just like if you're playing Nail. I need Dende out, so that way I get my extra attack. Yeah. So I'm gonna go grab my Dende.
Touch him with your Dende. Come on.
I'll go rub them all over your face.
Dende's good.
But at that point, like that's not good for this one.
No, it's oddly specific.
Now for Ginyu, that one's not that great either. Because here's the thing: if I'm running Ginyu does all this.
There's something to be said for that. He does actually have these powers.
I'd rather have a consistent way of getting them from my Banish Zone than I would by getting them out of the deck. I think it's really good. Like I said, I think it's good. I think it's good for those decks that aren't Ginyu, that don't have the ability to get their allies out if they're attacking allies. That being said, you'd be running a villain for this. So I think don't most of the Cell Junior stuff though, aren't they mostly continuous?
I want to say they're at least half and half.
Half and half. So maybe this would be better for Cell.
Probably. Come to think of it, because if you start to think about it, I don't know how many of the Cells have... I'm going to look at them up while we're talking. So the Cell Juniors, if I remember correctly, only half have continuous effects, and because realistically, you need to get them in ASAP, and I hate to say it, out ASAP, you're just going to cycle them constantly because you need their power stages, but the only way to get more power stages is to bring them into play. Because remember, they can't gain stages.
Well, they have PUR.
Do they? I mean, let's look at
I
it.
don't remember. It's been a while since I even looked at Cell.
Yeah, Cell Jr. trapped. He's a continuous, the first one. This personality cannot gain stages. He has a PUR of 0. Cell Jr. MP. Cell Jr. escaping. Another continuous. This card leaving play. Banish it to destroy the top card of your opponent's life deck. Oh boy. Let's see, what else? There's more Cell Juniors in there.
There's Trapped, there's Escaping, personality cannot gain stages. None of them can gain stages.
So that was my thing, is that they can come in, shoot, like, always get stages to throw another energy or something, and but you have to get them out and back in to get more stages on them.
I've only got 3.
I might be... Okay, what are they? Escaping, Trapped,
and Unrelenting.
Okay.
Unrelenting's the only one that attacks.
Gee.
But allies you control cannot perform attacks this combat. It's X plus 3 plus X stages.
Oh,
X
they're not
is the number of allies in play with Cell Jr. in the tile. Shuffle all allies you control with Cell Jr. in their tile into their owner's deck.
Speaking of it, well, yeah, because we said they kind of have to keep popping it out of play.
And at that point, though, if there's only one that's attacking, that's a non-continuous one.
The targeting ain't there. It ain't there. Shoot. That's oddly specific. So then, is this more of a hero thing? But don't most of the hero allies have continuous?
Yeah, I think it's more of a... It might be more of a villain, but like a...
Oh, you know who would be... It is laughable with because of who it would be, but was this more of a BoJack ally? Would it be?
I was thinking, because like Android 13 doesn't attack.
Well, Bardock and Hatchiyak do. I think, what's his name? Oh gosh. Deborah and Majin Buu allies are...
Yeah, like you could still run Jace. You can still run you can still run all of them. You can still run Raccoon and all that. So like you could do that with like a subset of Ginyu Force in there. But
okay, so we're kind of concluding here, folks.
I mean, you could run it. You could run the ally Goku with it because there's a couple.
Well, Tien and Yamcha and Chaozu always come to mind. They're energy attacks, big ones.
So you could do like Kid Trunks too and stuff like that.
So I'm starting to get the feeling, though, we're coming to the conclusion that no, it's in fact not the best mastery with Ginyu unless we're missing something. Unless somebody could point out some combination we're just not putting together.
It would be great for Gotenks.
What? Because he has the ghost, right? Mm-hmm. Dang! Hey, somebody make that deck.
Because you could just bring out all the ghosts.
Dizzy! What do they do?
So on the move is, and so this one, they're all cool because if you have Gotenks only, you can use this power regardless of any EMP stages, so you don't have to worry about the second one.
Wow!
But you can do some of the other stuff with like
you can make them skip the next action.
Yeah.
2 shots.
So power physical attack, 1 life card, hit, destroy the top 2 cards of your opponent's life deck, destroy this card. Basically, they all do the same thing. So you can kill them. The only problem is then you have to figure out how to cycle them a little bit better. But there are probably ways to do it.
Oh, if you're going to be that guy and want that, there's so many. Let's say you're... Okay, do any of the ghosts do anything when they leave play?
No.
Dang. Because there's an energy attack that has Vegeta on it shooting down from like Android Saga, I think. It's from Evolution. And he's Vegeta shooting down and says you may destroy any number of allies in play. And if you do, raise your anger 1 for every ally you destroy. So it's an oddly villainous card. But you can basically cash in your allies if you're done with them this combat. And if you have stuff to bring them back, neat. But
do they go into play or do they go into...
And play it.
Play it, okay. You can always do the Vegeta too.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that one with popping in and out of combat. Because if I had Broku, he would see so much pop.
You can grab him right after that. and pull them in play, and then pull them back into your hand, and then, yeah.
So what we're going to say is there's probably going to be a card
There's
pool.
There's a couple. Like, there needs to be a little more card pool for it, but I think there's a couple potential things that could definitely come through it.
So we're going to say unless the card pool is strong, this is like a B- mastery. If it gets strong, then it could be one of the top tier. Just depends. Though I would actually like to see the ironic named Bojack. What do they call it? One. Bojack using it with the irony that he, destroys his henchmen and it's the Unity Mastery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd like to see that. Because if I remember correctly, they have like a very minor energy attack.
Yeah.
Now, how prepared are you to see the Namekian Mastery?
I mean, it can't be the worst thing that I've seen today.
Oh,
You've already seen that.
We've seen some stuff. Namekian Empowered, I think I like it a lot comparatively, but part of the problem here is, dang it.
It does make your
good
beam
lord.
cannon.
Oh lord. Okay, we should have known better. We had this long conversations about how useless it was. But
that's one of those. But then, once again, that's them making an MP built around just playing one mastery.
Hey, I got a thing for you. You're aware with this Raise Your Anger 2 levels business, you're aware they're going to freeze knowledge. We should have like 4 sets ago, but 5 sets ago. But what I'm saying is, like, this was the effect that got, what's it called? Restored banned or frozen. That effect. And they're probably going to unfreeze restored. They're going to freeze knowledge and probably unfreeze restored. So neat. I'm ready. I've wanted these cards back forever. But I love this. So your attack steal +1 life card. Beautiful.
Yep.
Early, remember we said one. Do you remember the volume of 1 through 4 energy attacks? I'm sorry, it sets 1 through 4 Namekian energies were 4 life cards.
Yep.
Virtually all of them.
Yep.
So, yeah. And they all have wonderful rejuve effects. So, use an entry combat, draw the bottom card of your discard pile, discard a card from your hand. So, I don't know if you remember, there's actually was in the last 2 or 3 sets, but they were throwaway, like look at them once and throw them away kind of cards. Because there was a ton that said banish cards from your own discard pile or rearrange your discard pile, and you're like, who the heck cares? And that, by the way, is where these were supposed to go this whole time. So, okay, do you think that whole -2 and Raise Your Anger 2 thing is okay because it requires you to do an action before you do it? Like, it's not an instant you do as you're throwing a different attack? Like, it makes you wind up first?
I guess, because they can make you...
Like, I gotta take one action to power this up with the power and then throw it. Yep, and it's not even energy combat either. It's not even style, it's your next energy combat. Or next energy attack, rather.
I mean, I guess.
Is it that the card pool we're missing again? Because we need to see what the card pool is going to be?
Yeah, I mean, like, I could see a couple of the energy attacks, though, that would be really good with that. I just don't know how I feel. Like, yes, it is more balanced because your opponent could beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. In the meantime, you take a good hit.
Raising Your Anger too, though.
Hey, it's got to happen. Remember how Restored took the place of...
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like... Well, they, like I said, they're fighting that problem. They have a problem where they
went anti-anger for so long. But because... Like, guys, dev teams, we love you. We're glad you're working. We're glad you're doing it. But I got to say this. You should have froze knowledge like 6 sets ago, and had you, we wouldn't be having this problem because you would have balanced it. Because a lot of your anti-anger is actually anti-Namekian. I feel racially profiled. But, so had you done that, we wouldn't have had a bunch of the problems we had. So, good job? I don't know. So I'll give this one. I love it. I think there's a lot of potential here. It's really close to Restored, and I like it.
Yeah, I'll give
it like a B. B+.
Yeah, there's nothing too amazing about it. Nothing too like groundbreaking, but it's not bad.
Hey, that's how it should be.
That's an orange right there. Actually, that's...
Yeah, it's more orange than most orange.
That's actually almost... that's actually getting kind of close to whatchamacallit. What was mastery? Gosh, I forgot mastery thing.
Which
third
one?
mastery.
Oh, Retribution. Yeah.
It's kind of getting there.
Well, I think I told you that the one that came in between that basically is Retribution Light. I use that in my 18. It's okay.
I mean, no, but I mean, like that comes pretty close. We're reducing energy costs, giving you anger, and all this other stuff. The only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't search out or drill.
Now, I was going to tell you something here, and it's not.
Ooh, yeah. All your attacks are considered style.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Wow, I would like that. Just everything is. Oh yeah, about that one, it was Energetic Mastery. It was basically Retribution Light. It's okay. So we're going to talk about Orange Aura Mastery. So
once again, we talked about how the Namekian did it, and now Orange does it one step better.
So here's
plus 1 life, and then 1 stage less.
Well, it's nice. Basically, if adaptive, it had that stage minus thing.
Oh, I know.
It would have been used to this day.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying that's the funny part. You know, we talk about it. You know, we're like, oh yeah, it's really powerful. It's really powerful. And then Orange has to show it up. Wait, I feel like it's weird because I feel like they hate Orange, but then they love Orange.
Let's put it this way: what you're describing is one guy likes Orange, the rest of the guys don't. The rest of the guys are like, I can take it or leave it. So this I don't mind. One is energy attacks. That's fine.
Yeah.
Second is to a minimum 0, so appreciate it. Thank you for wording it correctly. So I think that in of itself is awesome. I think...
it's really good. It's stupid good. It's broken.
Think of you slinging energy
eruptions.
with... Oh, gosh.
Orange eruptions for free. What was the other one that lowered your opponent's energy? There's one that I can't remember. It lowers your opponent's anger. It's from the Frieza saga. It's from like set 1, but it's like 4 energy. It costs 1 stage, so that makes it crit, and it does -1, and it's so stupid.
I like a lot.
Oh, and then you go through your opponent's deck, and then you shoot out a card of it. Yeah, something like
Orange PowerPoint, I believe it is.
Yeah.
It's like 6 life card. It's ridiculous. It's a very powerful card. Are you talking about that one? Wait, does it have Zarbon on it?
I think so.
Okay, then yes. I ran that card for a long time. Then I think I found a card that outdid it somehow. I think it was the lack of damage.
I'll take a look.
It's not Orange PowerPoint. That's the 6 life card, the big one with all the endurance.
Yeah.
What is the other one?
It had like 3 endurance. But
you know what?
We'll figure it out.
On the Fan Z page. I don't know if you saw this one. If you're on it still.
Yeah.
There is that. Let me grab this again. There's a link there that goes to the Dropbox that has literally every single card.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna get there myself.
But it's fine. Use when in combat, destroy a drill. You control the search your life card for a style drill and place it in play.
Okay, you are the drill guy, the orange drill guy. What do you see here?
I understand that, so there are ways to do that because, it's not bad. I don't know how to explain it. It's good for cycling out things that you already have. It also lets you abuse. What drill was it? The one where they used to.
Are you talking about not orange
checkup drill? You could abuse checkup drill with it.
Not orange precise shot. That is definitely not.
Is it precise shot?
I don't think it was precise shot because it's
precise shot.
Really?
That's 2. Okay, so it's 2. So that turns it down to 1 energy.
No. That's endurance.
Oh, that's endurance too.
Energy costs you 1 stage, so it's free.
Turns it puts it up to 4.
It has to hit to do the thing.
Yeah, but it's good.
Raise your anger.
Yeah, but it's still good.
I live in Krellin. Yeah. Well, it's a beam cannon.
Yeah. It's a better beam cannon because you search through your opponent's deck. You don't name no goddamn card. You search through it and you choose what you want.
It has endurance.
It has endurance. It'd be free.
Oh gosh.
At that point.
So here's my thing about this one. I look at this power, and mind you, I'm not the guy.
Yeah.
But I look at it and I say, it's they say hand filtering.
Yeah.
I think of drill filtering.
That's what it is.
Your situation.
That's what it is.
But I thought about drill bounce, of things that reward you for moving drills in and out or harm your.
As I said, it's a great way to abuse checkup drill. But checkup drill's gone.
Yeah, well, what replaced it was entanglement drill.
Ah.
Did you ever see what it is?
No.
All right, let me pull it. Let me whip this thing out. Because it's right in 18, I believe. Because there it is. It was one of the first things I ever printed out from that set. So it's made to be what checkup drill should have been.
Okay, so yeah, so it does both, but it's one or the other.
Yeah, so it's better and clearer and less prone to...
But you actually have to waste an action to do it.
That's
it's not
right.
like it's an entering.
That's the other part. Your opponent can wallop you while you're trying to do it.
Well, who? No, it's you know, it makes sense.
It's better than the busted checkup drill and everything that horribly abused it. I just remember him having every block in his deck in his hand because he just kept moving. Whoop, whoop, Roshi.
Well,
so
that wasn't the big part. It also gave me +1 stage of damage.
This is yet another mastery where I say, look, if you give me a card pool that says,
there's a couple that do that still, but
drills that do stuff when they leave, like crashing drill does that when it says when it leaves or enters. One. So what I'm saying is, if
and then you have investigation drill. So you can pop that in.
That is nice. You can push a drill you don't need to grab when it comes into play effect.
Yeah,
that's good.
Or you can switch it out for a continuous effect that you really need.
I'm okay with that.
It's not bad. There are more drills that kind of do that now.
If there is a bunch of drills in this set that say when this leaves play, I'm okay with that. If you do that, I'll be like, okay, I'll build a deck around that, or at least include it. But as it is right now, I just think it is officially, it's a 1-for-1, it's a little costly, and it's deck only, life deck only. So that's why I'm like, I'll wait and see on that.
Yeah.
So remember, if the card pool is great, it's probably like an A- mastery, because that's a little weak compared to all the other ones that came before it. A weak in a matter of speaking. But if it has the right wrong card pool or no support or limited support, it's a B. But you know what? Wouldn't you rather have a bunch of B-level masteries that don't bust the game and make life hard for everybody?
I want a balance thing. I want uniqueness in it, but I don't want it to be like busted. If that makes sense.
I would rather deal with the mundane mastery than have a broken one. That's how I see it.
I want broken, I don't want pushed. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I feel like Adapt is broken. It is broken in a unique way because it does unique things, has unique interactions, and it adds multiple things no matter what's going on. It is not a pushed mastery, though. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like Retribution where it's...
it was everything.
Beyond that.
Like out the box, who needs cards?
Yeah. That's the difference. That's the difference. I want something that's broken, yet not pushed.
Yeah, or how about effective but not broken? Because that's how I say.
Yeah.
Does it have abilities? Can it do stuff? Is it the kind of thing where it can straight up fix any build you throw in it?
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen. There should be no mastery that's like, hey man, I'm going to carry you for this whole thing. I think that's what happened with Mystic Gohan's interaction with knowledge. Like, if knowledge didn't exist, I don't think hardly any Mystic Gohan builds would have been dominating like it did.
Yeah.
And had Vegito been no MPPV off the bat, he also wouldn't have been abused. I'm saying, you guys be slipping. So, at the time of our recording, to my knowledge, the Blackstyle Mastery is not out. So, I don't know. I'm sorry to say I couldn't tell you. What would be in it. Take a wild guess, though, from what we've been seeing. Like, what was a set 1 through 3 thing? We already have a discard mastery. Mischievous does that, so I don't think it'll have a discard effect. It'll probably have a damage buff on it. Because
everything has damage buff on it.
And it's a spiritual successor to DBS, so it'll probably have one.
I would say it would be more of a stage buff, because
Probably.
we haven't really seen a stage buff.
Not for black. Not for black.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's kind of what they're doing, is they're trying to do different things.
Which is fine. I'm okay with the adjacent powers.
No, yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to say probably, like, this is our hilarious guess at it. This is the last mastery to look at, I believe. So, yeah, that should be the last one. We already saw all the other colors. So, yeah, that's my prediction. My prediction is stage buff. Not a life card buff, because we've already done that. It's not going to have a discard, because we already have a discard mastery that's still relatively recent and still in effect, so we're not going to do that. I think it's going to do something odd. I think it's going to go like this. It's going to be a power that says it is black command in a mastery. Banish some cards from the discard pile. If they have 0, mill them. I'm thinking that's what it's going to be. Because so much of this has been discard pile hate that they've been too many cards of this set say banish cards from your opponent's discard pile. I think there's going to be a black that does that. I don't think it's going to be its only effect. I think it's going to have something wacky on it. But I think it's going to be one. It mills for eating their discard pile. I can't think of anything past there that fits with new and old, because remember, we can't bring back DBS. So it can't be a discard, it can't be a buff, so what else is it? So that's complicated. That's what happens when you have uneven freezing of masteries from a set, when you should have froze that whole set. Like, I don't even know, do I play anything from set 1 anymore besides knowledge? I don't think so. Because black and red are gone. I think I'll use knowledge, and I don't think I've ever built a modern deck with adaptive. And blue should really be in more decks that I have, but I just forget it exists. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's I think that's going to be the end of the line. I think we said we're going to come to the conclusion here that it's all very promising. It's all very nice. A lot of it is good. A lot of it needs some work. You already heard all of our opinions for how we think you should build it or alter it just to keep the game balanced. Because even if it seems kind of cruddy now, you want to go kind of cruddy now and then not get destroyed by people abusing it a little later. That is why Retribution had to go. Think about it. That mastery should still exist if it wasn't broken off the bat. So go cruddy if you gotta. It's better for everybody. James, what you thinking?
I'm thinking, like, I'm kind of hopeful because it looks like they're kind of pulling back a little bit. Which when we were looking at some of the first stuff that came out, it was just like, holy shit! I don't think they've ever done any kind of test playing or anything like that of any kind of game of any sort. That being said, like I said, I'm seeing a lot more reserve. Yes, there are some things that we've said that are really busted and whatnot, and I can see where there's going to be some problems that will arise. That will always happen no matter what, because even if you get 5 or 6 people playtesting something, they're not going to playtest under every single circumstance because they're not going to see every single circumstance, and that's usually what happens in most card games, and that's why something becomes really busted. Now, the question is whether or not, like, they can take some of that critiquing and be fine with it and kind of work with that. That's the real question.
Now, this has been the most interesting, because normally I tend to think of Joey and the bunch for new development as dudes who just don't listen. I tend to think of them as like, and I'm one to talk with Crusaders. I really am. With talking like not taking direction or critique. But I tend to think of them as like, we like this build. We like this idea. We're going with this theme. You know what I mean? And just kind of like middle fingers at the rest of us, like we'll just deal with it. And I got used to that idea. This set is saying we've been listening more than I probably expected to ever see the game ever show again. Because everything here screaming, we're done with knowledge. And I'm glad to report that. You would say to the fellows and say, hey, knowledge is finally done. So that means Namekian Gohan, or Mystic Gohan, isn't the only deck in town anymore. Like, no. Though, one of these days I need to show you how Imposing runs, just so you can hate it more. I hate that deck. Alright, so thank you for making it all the way through our incredibly long video. We look forward to future sets. Despite all the critique and criticism we leveled, we actually do like the game, we do like where this is going, and would like to see something very good come of it. In fact, as soon as we have a definitive release date for the set, likely our first tournament is the next week thereafter. So, just keep us in a loop. Have a nice day, train at 100 times gravity, do plenty of sit-ups, drink your juice, lots of push-ups, and get ready.